the very moment the world was about to fall into destruction caused by an alien race. Lee Do-hyuk, a genius hunter, used the regression stone to return to the past and prevent the attack. After returning to the past, he tried to hone his skills meticulously. But life is not always a dream. He waited anxiously for 6 months. But no outbreak occurred. The world remained eerily peaceful. Do-hyuk, once a prestigious hunter, instantly became an ordinary person with tens of millions of won in debt. To repay this debt, Do-hyuk had to work as a live streamer of games at the urging of his younger sister, Jaein. What will Do-hyuk's new life be like? Let us follow Academy Manhwa to find out. The Sefi to Rai begins, 20 years after alien monsters invaded Earth. The end of the Earth has come. The entire city became desolate and ruined due to monster attacks. Humanity launches its final counterattack. Long Emperor Kabuna announces fiercely to everyone. Listen, the only way to end this war is to eliminate the ruler of the alien race. Dedicate your last breath for humanity. The monster ruler begins to chant mysterious incantations. He creates a magic orb from his mouth, then controls IT to attack everyone. Smoke billows thickly. The entire city seems to be submerged in a sea of fire. Lee Do-hyuk rushes forward like a madman, shouting, "You bastard! I will destroy you." Long Emperor Kabuna appears and stops Do-hyuk's intention. Stop! Lee Do-hyuk, seeing Kabuna's arm severed, he asks in horror, "Kabuna, your arm." Kabuna tries to suppress the pain and says weakly, "I've lied." Stopping him with the power of humanity is nearly impossible. Our only remaining option is to use that method. The last hope that humanity discovered at the end of the 20-year war, the space-time regression stone. The person who possesses the power of the stone can return to the past once. The girl in the Gia repeat takes of the space-time regression stone. Kabuna becomes hesitant before the difficult decision. Only one person can use the space-time regression stone. If only one person must go, then that person must be you. Lee Do-hyuk, everyone places their trust in you. You, a genius hunter, only one in a century can do this. The fate of 8 billion people depends on you. Reaching this point, Do-hyuk has no choice but to resign himself to fate. Okay. In the next life, I hope we can all, he says as he absorbs the power from the space-time regression stone into his body. Everyone eagerly awaits the result. The power from the stone radiates, piercing through Do-hyuk. Thoughts still flash through his mind. May we meet with a smile. His friend runs to support Hyuk's body. They are gone. I do not know why, but I feel relieved. Kabuna smiles triumphantly. That guy will now have to shoulder all the burden alone. Our part is done. The friend looks up and says, "No, we still have one last task. The alien overlord. We must at least fight one last time." The monsters rush forward madly. The friend does not forget to encourage everyone. That is right. There is still a long way to go. Kabuna charges forward like a hunting beast. One last time. Let us fight. In a luxurious and bustling city, the alarm clock rings incessantly. Do-hyuk lies sprawled on the floor in exhaustion. Where am I? My old room. Did I succeed? Thank God. I have returned to the optimal time. I have about 7 months before the invasion happens. Until then, I must train this weak body and stockpile resources for the crisis. The fate of 8 billion people depends on me. This time, I must awaken as soon as the first outbreak occurs. Until then, I must train my body to be ready to awaken. 7 months later, at Bukansan, Do-hyuk goes alone to that forest. Finally, the moment has come. In 1 minute and 30 seconds, a wormhole will open here at Bukansan. My body is far from reaching its peak, but at least I have met the minimum requirements. Do-hyuk anxiously waits for every second. In 1 minute, a wormhole will appear at that rus, and with a powerful wave of ma will flow like a baptism. Eta forcibly changes the human body and inscribes an awakening circuit that channels mana into the body. The real problem is that alien vanguard troops appear along with the wormhole. In Korea, they are giant ants and 4-legged cockroaches. In my prime, they were nothing more than food for soldiers. But now even 5 or 6 newly awakened hunters would struggle to face just one. But with my experience, I will be able to handle a. They are about to open. Do-hyuk begins to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He prepares to fight. 8 is now. But he waits and waits, and nothing happens. Do-hyuk optimistically thinks, that is right, there might be a margin of error of about 10 seconds. If I just wait a little. And then night falls. Do-hyuk sits in the rain, cursing. Damn, it's been 10 hours. What the hell is going on? That is right, I must have miscalculated the day. I will come back tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into a week. Do Hayek still does not give up. The elderly tourists see him and are very curious. Student. What are you doing here? Let us go. He looks crazy. A month passes, and the tourists are even eager to take commemorative photos with Du Hayek. This is the legendary Bukhansen statue. Kids. Come closer. And half a year later, Du Hayek looks like a prehistoric man. People flock to see him as a very rough phenomenon. A hermit has been meditating in Bukhansen for half a year. The parents of the students are praying. Li Jian points at the TV and says, "Mom, is not that brother?" The mother realizes in a panic, "What is that kid doing there?" The world remains surprisingly peaceful. The savior of humanity. Li Du Hayek, after a period of painful waiting. 3 months later, I became a day laborer. Hey, is not Li Du Hayek coming? He is on his way. Lone Wolf. Mad Dog. Demon Hunter. Shadow Ninja. Junius Kashi, the first to exterminate the ruling species. War God. One of the 9 heroes. And many other titles. How many titles were bestowed upon me? Li Du Hayek, in my 10 years as a hunter. And finally, the savior. It's unbelievable that I, of all people, am now called a day laborer. It's so humiliating. How can I face the others? No matter how long I waited, for 6 months, the outbreak did not happen. No alien races, no individuals awakening with supernatural abilities. All of those things do not exist in this world. I finally have to accept that this is a different Earth from the world I knew. Although the theory of the multiverse and parallel worlds is very popular, I never thought this would happen to me. Anyway, the fact that the outbreak did not happen is really fortunate for the people of this world. Even if it means that all the sacrifices of the resistance force were meaningless. Yeah, that is right. I should enjoy this peace for a while. The phone suddenly rings. A notification from the bank is sent to Du Hayek. Installment loan payment of $2,138,465 one scheduled to be withdrawn on July 30th. A series of other lending companies flood him with messages. Your loan is overdue. Li Du Hayek, overdue loan notice. As of July, 146,948 won is overdue. Du Hayek. Today's deposit. Please send 450,000 won before 6 p.m. today. A moment later, at the Li Du Hayek family's house, his younger sister gently says, "Brother, sit here for a moment." Du Hayek asks tiredly, "What is AT now?" Jian angrily questions him, "What is AT now? What have you been doing lately? You are unemployed and you are always running off somewhere. Since last year, you have been buying gas masks and all sorts of strange things. Do not tell me you are participating in a multi-level marketing scam. A year ago, you suddenly left home and said that the world was about to end, and piled up millions of won worth of stuff in the basement. Do you know how worried Mom was?" Du Hayek frowns bitterly. "Damn me. Did I know that this world would not end?" This was the plan of Li Du Hayek and the resistance GRE. Kabuna had told him, "First, borrow money from anywhere you can. Even if it is a high-interest loan or whatever. Borrow everything you can to prepare for the outbreak." Du Hayek asks curiously. "Then what?" Kabuna says with a firm tone. "After that, who cares what happens after? Once the outbreak happens, the world is going to end anyway. Who in their right mind would ask for debt? But the world did not end, and perhaps IT will continue peacefully without end. In other words, I can't just walk away from the money I borrowed." Jian continues to scold. "What are you proud of? I know you have been doing temporary work to pay off that multi-level marketing junk. Instead of that, why do not you help me do online broadcasting? I will pay you." Du Hayek blankly asks, "That thing you put on your head?" Jian sincerely confides, "I need to win this 2-person game. I need your help." Du Hayek is a little worried. I have never done that before." Even so, Jian places her trust in her brother. "You are always good at sports and stuff. You will adapt quickly. And you are the only one I can ask." Du Hayek reluctantly agrees. "Okay, but how much can you earn from online broadcasting?" Jian decisively gives a number. 15 million. Hearing this, Du Hayek's eyes light up. "What?" Jian proudly shows off. "My income has reached 15 million won per month after only a few months of broadcasting. I will pay you half the salary." Du Hayek is extremely surprised by this. My little sister is shining. And so, for the time being, Li Du Hayek, the savior of humanity, decides to become his sister's slave for a while. Jian asks, "Are you ready?" He eagerly answers, "Yes, master." Jian also quickly starts the equipment. Then let us begin. Both are disguised as two different characters. Die together. A world where you face enemies through farming. Super difficulty. We invite you to a horrifying world. A super difficult adventure horror game known as the Newbie's Graveyard. Both stand together in front of a gloomy castle. The players have appeared. The game begins. The viewers are even more excited than the participants. They continuously comment enthusiastically. "Let us go. They really make this haunted house so seep rep pie." "Do Hayek. Stay close to me," Jayan says fearfully, snuggling close to her muscular brother. She is teased by the viewers. Coward. But some also sympathize with Jian. "If I had to do a courage test there, I would probably cry." Do Hayek looks at the dark house in confusion. "Is this place that scary? That house looks perfect for a good night's sleep." Jayan looks like she is about to faint. Constantly trembling, she says softly, "Do Hayek. Go slowly." "Okay." The male lead does as his sister says. He gently reassures her, "Okay. Stick close to me." The bleak atmosphere. The gloomy space makes the viewers more excited than ever. Comments jump continuously. "They walk in like AT is nothing. Choose fear is so cute. But is AT okay to just walk in like that?" When Do Hayek steps on the first step, the system identifies the player and provides the game's introductory information. After receiving a letter from your missing ex-wife, you and your current wife arrive at the haunted house where she disappeared. The screen suddenly lights up, scaring Jian half to death. She shouts, "Something just jumped." Oh. Do Hayek finds the notification too cumbersome, so he swiped the screen to the side. By chance, he skips the tutorial just as the system announces AT. Jayan really explodes at this point. The fear she has been accumulating all this time goes into pulling her brother's hair. The little sister scolds, "Hey, are you crazy? This game is already difficult enough. Why did you skip the tutorial?" The male lead knows he just messed up, so he does not dare to raise his voice, only scratches his head like an idiot and says sorry. AT was in the way, so I accidentally pressed IT without thinking. Jian grinds her teeth in anger, but calms herself. "Never mind. AT's my fault for trusting a newbie." The viewers laugh until their stomachs hurt. "Like you are not a newbie either." Typical Chu double standard. "So cute." At this moment, Jian says softly, begging the viewers for help. "Anyway, everyone, give me some tips. I have not even looked at a single tutorial. AT's impossible to resist the charm of a beauty." Guidance comments begin to appear. First, go farm weapons. You have to look for clues around. The key is stun grenades. There are not many effective weapons for the boss, so just run away. Jian listens carefully and memorizes 80. Okay. Stun grenades. Run away from the boss. At this time a viewer reminds. Most importantly, setting the difficulty is key. No matter what you do not choose realistic mount. As expected, Do Hayek was brought in to increase the difficulty of the game. The reminder just ends. The system announces that he has chosen realistic MUT. Jian freezes for a few seconds. The little sister once again yells in the male lead's face. "Hey, what did you do this time? Why is this happening to me?" Do Hayek explains in a panic. "No, I just touched the doorknob to see if IT would open. Then something strange appeared." Watching a horror game and all I have seen so far is the viewers laughing hysterically. These two are like they are acting in a comedy. Failing right from the start like a dog. Jian despairs. The money bet on clearing this first level is more than 1,000,001. At this time the user named Lipshu requests a 1,000,001 mission. Complete realistic met in 3 tries. The user Guardianshu also requests a 500,001 mission. Complete in realistic met and enjoy. No limit to the number of tries. These two siblings are really from the same hole. The moment they hear money they turn into superheroes. Jian says confidently. Supreme Lipshu and Guardianshu have spoken. Do Hayek also joins in the acting. "Yes, master. Despair is a luxury we cannot afford." The viewers get to see comedy and laugh until their stomachs hurt. The two siblings are slaves of capitalism. Despair can be cured with money. Do Hayek forcefully opens the door. His face looks very serious. As soon as the door opens, a dead body immediately appears to scare the players. As expected, Jayan screams like she is being slaughtered. The viewers are excited. The screaming house is the best. AT's already attractive. Someone reminds the two capitalist siblings. Check behind the body. Jayan fearfully pushes her brother forward. Do Hayek. You do it. Viewers spoil a few details. There should be a hatchet and a pistol there. The male lead immediately pulls them and throws the pistol to the little sister. Jian is confused. Do Hayek. I am not good with guns. Not letting her whine. Do Hayek is a little threatening. Really? Then are you more confident with the hatchet? You will have to stab AT straight in. Jian immediately changes her mind after hearing that. Oh no, my dream is to become a gunslinger. To challenge the female gunslinger. The game releases a few beasts. Viewers inform the two siblings. Here AT comes. The newbie ripper. Neck hugger. Jian cries her heart covers her ears and runs back to the door. Do Hayek takes the opportunity to fly forward, blocking two of them with one hand. The viewers also explode. What the hell? He blocked the neck hugger's attack with just one hand. Do Hayek goes crazy, grinding his teeth and slashing at each monster. The feeling of blood splattering makes him even more energetic. The neck hugger probably did not think IT would encounter a madman like this. AT bares its sharp teeth to show off its strength, but not letting AT show off its fangs for too long. Do Hayek uses the detached arm of the other one to stab AT straight into the mouth of this one. The viewers are like they have had their eyes washed. Look, he is really crazy. He took AT down with just one blow. At this time a comment reminds. Look, you veep there. Turn back quickly. More neck huggers are coming. 3 more are rushing UV. Do Hayek's face is tense like a bowstring, veins bulging all over his neck. The other side is no less. They bare their teeth, lunging towards the male lead. A life or death battle. Suddenly flashes of light. Do Hayek slashes frantically at the bodies of the neck huggles. Comments explode continuously. He is really crazy. Did I just see that? No way. Explain AT. I do not understand what just happened. The older brother is safe. All have been destroyed under the male lead's hatchet. He turns back, using his blood-covered face to talk to his sister. Jian. You must have been scared. Right. You are really a devilish sister. Jian straight up fires a shot, hitting Do Hayek in the middle of the forehead. The system immediately announces. Mission failed. Player Jian has died. Jian knows she made a mistake. Rushes Uvep to apologize. Opa. I'm sorry. 8 is my fault. The server announces. Mission failed. Restart. Reload game. Exit game. A user donates 1001 as if to comfort the two siblings. What the hell did I just witness? This is really legendary comedy. At this time in a fancy apartment building. A shout of surprise. No way. Taking down a neck hugger that easily. Even in realistic meat, 2 neck huggers is my limit. This is Black Orc, a streamer specializing in horror games. He sits in front of the screen not believing his eyes. And he took down 4 of them with just a hand axe. Wait, what is this guy's name? On the male lead's side. He and his sister appear in front of the house once again. The viewers laugh hysterically. A complete disaster. Laughing until my stomach hurts. Jian puts on a remorseful face, flattering her brother. Do Hayek. I'm sorry. AT was really a mistake. The male lead's face darkens. He looks like he wants to chop his little sister in half immediately. He regains his spirit, reassuring his sister. AT's okay. Jian. AT was my fault just now. I should not have given a gun to an idiot like you. Turns out he is still angry. Jian was touched at first, but she realizes, quickly says softly, I said I am sorry. I will do better next time. But how can Do Hayek trust this troublemaker anymore? There is no next time for you. Just follow me. This time, we will go fast. Jian sullenly follows behind. Let me see what you can do without me. Sure enough, without Jian being a burden, Do Hayek quickly takes down several neck huggers. Jian just needs to stay still, letting the male lead carry her. The viewers also have to admit, Chu not moving makes things even faster. Chu is really a burden. Jian is speechless at her brother's strength. Do Hayek puffs his chest. See, I can handle fighting alone. Then let us divide the roles for the next part. Jian is surprised. Roles. He will take care of guns, bullets, combat, melee, collecting items and scouting. Seeing her brother doing everything, Jian is confused. Then what about me? Do Hayek says harshly. Shut up. Just cheer. Just cheer. Okay. Jian gets angry seeing her brother looking down on her. Damn A. But this is my game. Why can I only cheer? Do Hayek does not care. He urges. Alright, let us go. The viewers mock Jian. Look at him ignoring her, being forced onto the bus. Seeing her brother go ahead, Jane quickly runs after him. Wait for me. The viewers are looking forward to Do Hayek's performance behind the door. In that room is the duo killing mid-boss. Its name is Brute, tall and huge, head is bald. Jian reports again, pushing Do Hayek forward. The Brute runs straight towards the two siblings. Do Hayek loses his balance, falling towards the Brute as if surrendering his life. He yells, "Hey, you idiot." Jian is horrified.
Wait, I'm sorry.
The viewers laugh until their stomachs burst. Another team kill. I can't breathe. Do Hayek regains his composure. He aims for the legs of this giant, then kicks his leg hard. Fall down. After the Brute falls down, he quickly jumps on its back, then raises his axe high. He muses, compared to the era I survived, a monster like this is nothing. Do Hayek slams the axe down on the Brute's bald head. The viewers are surprised. Why is he treating the Brute like a piece of chewing gum? But the Brute's shin is very thick. As expected, the Brute is like a ties being tickled. Ata slowly stands up. You can't pierce its muscles with a hatchet. So, newbies usually have no choice but to run away. Do Hayek still does not give up. He shouts, "If AT does not work, then make AT work." He stomps down on the hatchet stuck on the Brute's head. The more he stomps, Do Hayek increases his strength to the point of making a big hole in his head, even breaking the ground. The giant collapses to the ground under the viewers' stunned amazement. A newbie took down the Brute. User Lipchu donates 1,001. Did he really kill AT? Did I just see that? Jian stands on the side observing all this time, her mouth hanging open, unable to close. I do not know either. Viewers are very surprised. First time seeing someone kill the Brute with a hatchet. Brute is not something that can be killed. Do Hayek does not understand. Huh. Why not? A is easy. The viewers explain. Normally only veterans can kill AT after focusing all firepower and crying blood in a desperate battle. You are not a newbie. Are you? Jian quickly speaks up. No, he is a newbie. The viewers still do not believe I. If you are so confident, why did not you open your status window for us to see? Jian gets annoyed, telling her brother. Alright, open your status window. Do Hayek's play history. Killed 2. Playtime 6.6 hours. Status 134. The viewers are distracted by the status of 134. When players start, even professional players are only around 125. 140 is considered the limit of humans. What is the world record? 140 CVN. The detailed statistics make everyone even more shocked. Top is 0.01%. Are you a robot? Do Hayek smirks. So all the training preparing for the final apocalypse worked after all. Jian is different. Looking at the data, she feels sorry for her brother. How much were they squeezing him in that multi-layered system? How could a body reach this level? Jian bursts into tears, asking after her brother. Did you eat well there? I swear I will treat you well from now on. Black Hork also donates 10,001. Impressive. Hearing the name Black Hork, Jian immediately stops crying. Black Hork. Are you really Black Hork? The viewers are also surprised. The first person to open the hidden route and die together has appeared. Do Hayek is stunned. Hidden route. Normally, Brute is designed to catch the player and push the plot forward. But Black Hork was the first to kill one and unlock the hidden route. Although Ata took him CVN tries with every weapon Vei Lai B. Ata was truly cruel to watch. Do Hayek also paid attention. CVN times. Huh. Well, not everyone is good at games. I mean, if someone is not good at games, that can happen. Right? The viewers also chimed in, saying Black Hork was officially terrible at the game. Only that axe kid, Do Hayek, would say that. He would be speechless at home reading these comments. Not good at games. Huh. Anyway, someone who has never played this game or even tried full dive RAR, defeating a Brute with just an axe. I was just gonna watch for a bit and log off, but maybe I should turn this into Kin 10. So Blackheart donated 10,001 to make a request. If you do not mind, can I give you a mission? Just trying to have some fun while streaming. Jian was excited. Mission? What kind of mission? Complete the game with just a hand axe. No other weapons. In return, I will legally live stream. Hearing about 1,000,001, the siblings jumped for joy. The viewers did not have much faith in the bet. Complete AT with just a hand axe. Forget the brute. What about the boss? Do not you think this is a bit much? In AT Kill, there are not just humanoid enemies, but all sorts of monsters. Defeating all of them with that tiny hand axe. That is like telling them not to beat the game at all. Black Orc also reconsidered. Maybe the hand axe is a bit too much. Then how about a crowbar or a chainsaw? Suddenly, the server announced, mission complete. Black Orc has donated 1 million won. Du Hayek suddenly froze. Wrong button. Jayan went crazy. What are you doing? The male lead explained in a fluster. I meant to press the accept hand axe mission button, but I accidentally pressed the complete button instead. Du Hayek could not give up. He embraced his sister and stepped forward. Now that AT's come to this, I will complete the mission at all costs. Jian was scared, reminding her brother, stop this sudden madness. Waiting for the siblings was a grand, the second mid-boss monster. A tore apart players with terrifying speed. Its chainsaw arm, even a graze, was enough to bring players close to death. Ada dealt extremely high damage, and its attacks were incredibly complex. Normally, suppressing fire from another player would stagger AT, drawing its aggro, while the rest of the Thim would target its weak points. This cycle of attack and aggro redirection was the official strategy for dealing with a grand. That is why at least a two-person Thim was needed. Black Orc donated another 10,000 won. He wondered, but what is with that crazy playstyle? Du Hayek was constantly hacking at Agranda's body. Agranda screamed in pain. Du Hayek kept attacking without a fixed strategy. He was confused. Fixed strategy? What is that? Back when we played, if we did not have a weapon, we bit and fought. If there was no way, we found a way at all costs. And among all those hunters, I was the best at taking down monsters. A so-called official strategy based on just 5 years of full dive ver history, compared to my great monster hunting strategies, through 20 years of humanity's wars. AT's nothing more than a children's handbook. A grand retaliated, swiping its chainsaw arm at the male lead's head. He quickly leaned back to dodge. Du Hayek took advantage of the moment AT was not recovering, slashing at its legs. Just destroy the source of their movement. Once you have taken away the enemy's balance and speed, AT's time for the finishing blow. The monster's weak point is its neck. Agranda went berserk when Jian opened fire. Du Hayek took advantage of this moment, accelerating towards Agrand. He immediately brought the axe down on its flesh. But the male lead was stunned. When his axe was locked on Agranda's muscular arm, the viewers were nervous. The axe. Ate is blocked. Agrand retaliated, activating its chainsaw arm, aiming for the male lead. Jian screamed in horror from behind. Opa. Du Hayek jumped high, escaping Agranda's attack. Then he accelerated, jumping straight onto the chainsaw blade, stumping down hard. The viewers were on a roller coaster, their emotions going up and down. Blade collision. But if AD can't penetrate the monster's defense, AD is useless. Its defense suddenly spiked whenever AD sensed danger. If the enemy strengthens its defense, a stronger attack can break high. So Du Hayek focused his strength into a concentrated single blow. Agranda was not going to lose. AT started to recover. Du Hayek jumped off the monster's chainsaw blade. He flipped behind AT. Then he put all his strength into slashing its arm with a one-hit kill. But AT seemed to used a bit too much strength, causing Du Hayek to crash into the wall in front of him. But he had won after all. His whole body felt like A was on fire. That was pretty tough. Jian, with a smile as bright as a flower, ran UV to celebrate. Brother, we did AT. We won. The viewers were utterly stunned. What the hell? Defeating AT with just one move and saying AT was pretty tough. How did you do that? Du Hayek confidently answered the viewers. That guy just now. Easier than you think. By analyzing the direction of his stance and muscle movements, then targeting the stable leg when attacking, I disabled his speed. And before launching an attack, if you read the shoulders leading muscle movement, plus the tension of the arm muscles, you can predict the timing and direction of the attack. Then, just dodge like I did earlier, and deliver a powerful blow to Agrand. Even if the viewers got an explanation, there is no guarantee they could understand and do AT. Insane. Look at those moves. Teacher Du Hayek. Only you can do that. Du Hayek was praised until his nostrils flared like bowls. This is easy. One viewer even joked, if you can do that, you can probably dodge bullets too. The male lead chimed in, That is even easier. Bullets fly in a straight line, so you can dodge by observing the direction of the barrel, or block a T with an axe if necessary. Viewers laughed at his enthusiasm. How realistic. No, even if you explain AT, only you can do IT. At this moment, Jayan spoke up, breaking the atmosphere. Brother, there is a way down here. Oh, really? Wait a bit. Is Ada finally time to use the shock blast? The viewers were as nervous as the players. Du Hayek was still very calm. He even talked to the viewers. Anyway, there is no time to waste, so I will explain as we go. Jayan happily showed off her find. Brother. Wait, there is another axe here. The viewers then remembered. That is right. Defeating the monster egg gives you a submachine gun and a hand axe. Right. Du Hayek picked up the axe and rambled. Dual axes. Back in the day, I used them to take down countless monsters. Suddenly, Jayan's face turned pale, frantically pointing behind the male lead. Brother. Behind you. A horde of enhanced zombies rushed like dogs. The viewers were excited. They are here. A horde of enhanced zombies is charging. AD took Du Hayek's axe, but forgot that he was holding double axes. The other axe sent one to the god. Then constantly head flying up in the air, comments continuously appeared. Enhanced zombies made from tofu or something. How can they be cut off every slash? While fighting, Du Hayek explained. AT's not as difficult as you think. I have shown you before. Right. Just dodge like this. Put all your strength and attack the weak point of human form. Right into the neck like this. Then the male lead interpreted with actions to the viewers. More and more enhanced zombies surround Du Hayek. The viewers were difficult. But seriously, what kind of difficult? Normally there are only about 10. How come this time so many appear? This time, even teacher Du Hayek may struggle. Hearing the comments said so, the male lead was a bit angry. He gritted his teeth. Then, I should use more strength. Right. Du Hayek immediately turned on the crazy attack met. He turned 360 degrees, continuously slashed the heads of the zombies. Viewers were more excited than the players. Is not that whirlwind? Spin. Whirlwind. Du Hayek fought with these people and felt like vomiting. Viewers asked, you do not feel dizzy because of the whirlwind? I mean, do not play around in the action game anymore. Go play Rise of Valhalla. Du Hayek wiped the saliva on his mouth, feeling a bit confused. Rise of Valhalla. Is that another game? Jian came running. Announced something. Look at this. I just found clues about serum of monster disaster. Du Hayek was curious. Clues. Blood stained the entire page. Jian tried to read Kin 10. Aidis all sticky, so Aidis hard to see. But in this notebook, AIT says that the cause of all mutation from neck huggers to the Dombai crowd is a variant species. Do you remember the trailer near the house that we saw before we came here? They said that serum for this species is there. We just need to collect AT and spread IT through the sprinkler system of the mansion. Once exposed to serum, the monsters will weaken at the same time. Viewers also nodded their head. That is right. If there is not serum, from the next boss, the difficulty will skyrocket. Without AT, everything will be extremely difficult. Du Hayek was added some information. But he did not believe much. Is that so? AT does not look very difficult. How about try 80 first? Jian was so angry that he got blood vessels. No. What if we fail? Du Hayek sighed. Anyway, AT is annoying to go there. To increase combat effectiveness, Black Orc requested a mission worth 100,000 won. That is interesting. Defeat the next boss without using serum. The two siblings once again brightened their eyes. Immediately into combat minute. If that is Black Orc's wishes. Really an educated person. The viewers were stunned before these two siblings. Again, the couple of capitalist slave. With money. AT's serious. At this time the floor cracked, revealed a path down. Ada seems that two people must go down there. Du Hayek was energetic. Let us go. Jump on my back. Jian did not even have time to regain his senses. He had to climb on his brother's back. He landed strongly on the ground. Jian was so scared that his eyes were closed. We arrived in the sewer maze. Jian wanted to vomit soon. What is this smell? The space and smell made Du Hayek nostalgic. This makes me remember the old days, when I almost lived under the sewer to escape from the alien monsters. Jian suddenly screamed. Look! A rat. Rats. Du Hayek saw rats like he saw Kobe beef. Sewer rats. If you cook soup with it, tastes so delicious. The broth must be excellent. At first it was just a small rat passing by, but the direction it ran towards was to return to the giant monster rat family. Each one was the size of the sewer height. Giant shouted in horror. A giant rat. Do-Hyuk was blinded. He hurried towards the delicious piece of meat. The rat was surprised. Giant rat meat. After a few slashes, a rat thigh was in the hand of the male lead. He happily laughed. Got the most delicious rat thigh. Enjoy. Do-Hyuk opened his mouth wide, prepared to bite. Jian saw the scene and was even more horrified than the events now. She trembled. Crazy. Why do you eat that? When the food was about to be brought to the mouth, rocks flew from all directions. Chaos, final boss monster, with tentacle arms and powerful regeneration ability. AT appeared full of majesty and stinky. Viewers were even more surprised. What? AT appeared here before entering boss room. Jian could not cry aloud. What? Why are there two of them? Run. Who set the difficulty got error? Is this a garbage error game? Viewers were also unfair for AT. Do-Hyuk, what are you doing in this mess? The male lead was crying for his rat meat. He was looking forward to the feeling of eating junk food once in his life. Bastards. How dare you steal my rat meat? That is unforgivable. Viewers gave up on this emotion of him. He seriously got mad because he did not get to eat rat meat. You were a member of the Silmito Special Forces or something. Maybe Teacher Do-Hyuk is like that. Chaos started to attack. The long scary arms aimed straight at the location of the male lead. Jian was dissatisfied. Too much. From now on, this strange thing after another strange thing keep happening to us. Black Hork was panicking. In Re-Meet, the initial difficulty is determined based on the player's stats. Do-Hyuk's stats have far exceeded the rating limit of AT kill. AID seems that is why these things keep happening. Chaos is the boss. AID punched the male lead into the wall behind. Viewers were worried for Do-Hyuk. But throwing two Chaos straight is a bit too much. Even though being beaten, but the male lead still answered to reassure everyone. I am E. Now fighting is fun. He regained his calm. Burst to attack directly. Viewers must acknowledge, Do-Hyuk's mentality is crazy, but AT's too early to be careless. Chaos has a terrible regeneration ability, so that much damage is immediately restored. And as soon as AT got attacked, AT reacted like that. AT started to attack with poisonous gas. Jian stands but is the noisiest person. She shouted. Oppa, we got poisoned. We only have 10 minutes. Confronting Chaos, a monster with insane regeneration ability, while also poisoned. Scary scene. That is why the battle with Chaos is called Hell Difficulty. Do-Hyuk could not give up. He continued to jump high. Slashing down. If IT keeps regenerating, then we just need to smash AT continuously. Until AT can't regenerate anymore. No matter how many times ADS slashed. Head. Hand. Immediately the body of Chaos recovered intact. Jian was scared to faint. I cut off the neck but AT still revived. Chaos's unlimited regeneration ability. Unless you destroy the heart. One viewers gave suggestion. Do-Hyuk grasped the information. Began to calculate. Heart. Heart is its core. Then the male lead slashed hard at its arm. Kneeing and knocking of the Chaos. Slashed hard at the chest. Then stomped hard. If the heart is its weak point. Then I will take a TO and C-card AT with my own hands. The Chaos screamed as if being cut off from the sky. At this time behind, the other one came to support. Do-Hyuk saw IT from a distance. Its tentacles pierced hard at the location of the male lead. Jian surprised searching for her brother's shadow. But surprisingly, everything was in Do-Hyuk's expectation. The other's tentacles pierced the heart of this one. Chickens of the same mother killing each other. Viewers were surprised by this plan. What is that? What am I seeing here? He tricked the attack to destroy the other's heart. Crazy. From the beginning that was his plan. Chaos was tricked and got angry and roared. But quickly Do-Hyuk's axe was pinned into its head. He pulled fiercely. The Chaos was immediately cut in half. The blood shadow mixed with sewer water slammed like a tidal wave. Viewers immediately burst. Oh, this is crazy. Doing that could work, Mom. When I grow up I want to be a double axe warrior. Jian at this time breathed normally. She stammered. Amazing. Chaos mission has been completed. Jian immediately into money mining met. Everyone, after witnessing such a legendary match, should not anyone feel like giving a little gift? Viewers laughed. Here 80 comes. Donate announcement. Donate minute. Users have donated 10,000 won, $100, 50,000 won. The numbers continuously burst up. Jian looked at AT and smiled. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will use this donation to buy meat to eat with my brother. Du Hayek in the back was a little panic. All of this is money. How much did he earn today? Jane at this time noticed her brother in the back. Hey, what do you want to do now? Continue playing. Du Hayek hastily refused. Today we have been playing for 8 hours. Stop here. The viewers do not want to. Immediately stopped. Only 8 hours. At least 18 hours. You want to abandon us. So cruel. Du Hayek reasoned. I am starting to lose focus. And maybe because this is the first time I am playing virtual reality, so I feel a little dizzy. Viewers had to give up. Then that is it. Next time play longer. Du Hayek smiled happily. Okay. I understand. Next time I will come back to finish. Jian also said goodbye to everyone. But some viewers did not want that. Boss, let us go in. Wait. Why do they leave when we told them to stay? But seriously, we still witness the history being made. That is right. Did we just witness the beginning of a legend? What do you think? Bullock. Blackhawk watched nervously until sweating. That is right. Who is this person at all? If his skills in AT kill are crazy like this, what about in other games? If that person plays another game, AT will definitely be a blockbuster. No, AT will definitely be an absolute blockbuster. Yes. Can't hesitate anymore. That person. They are pulling AT towards them. Scene transition to Hayek's house. Jian's voice rang excitedly. Oppa's so great. How did you do that? Looking at you like a person who has been holding a double axe all his life. Just need to hit like this. Jian was so excited that Hayek went crazy. Hey, stop it. Do not hit me now. No wonder you do not have a boyfriend. Hearing that, Jian immediately swung the pan at Hayek. What? I have a lot of relationships. I am a little hot. He immediately retorted. Okay, next up is a single person for life, not counting imaginary relationships. But then Jian gave up and asked curiously. Seriously? How did you do AT? You look like a crazy man using steroid. Hayek thought and answered. I just did and AT worked. Jian also agreed. Lucky person with innate talent. At that time, she thought to herself, from a dooning age he was extremely strong, if not because of the prophecy of the fortune teller. He said that the boy possessed the appearance of someone destined to be entrusted with the mission to save the world. And our parents believed in that nonsense without a doubt. Therefore, despite the desperate pleas from his physical education teacher, if they had listened to the teacher, he could have won 1 or 2 Olympic medals. Our parents regret AT every day. Jian suddenly said to Hayek. Anyway, Oppa, since you have started, why do not you try broadcasting for Rhea? Making Hayek surprised. Broadcast. You saw the viewer's reaction today. If you just play like that, without saying anything, you will still get huge popularity. Jian tried to convince Hayek. And he also thought back. AT's been a long time. Before I went back to the past, I fought for my life for more than 10 years. If I did not kill the alien creatures in front of me, I would be the one to die. And after all that, now I just know how to work and carry bricks at construction sites. Life has become so boring that AT can die from monotony. The battle in the virtual reality game was the most interesting thing I felt in a long time. But AT's not that I miss those days. Then Hayek said. Anyway, AT's really fun. Making Jian happy. So that means you do AT. Right. However, Hayek was a little hesitant. He still has debts to pay. Let him think more. Oh my god. You are so stupid. That is why you should broadcast more. With the mission reward that Blackhawk set for the previous round, you earned more than 3 million won today. Hearing that amount of money, Hayek was really surprised. He did not expect that in just one day. He could pay off all debts in the blink of an eye. Jian then asked, then can you do IT? But do you have enough money to buy a capsule? Hayek immediately lowered his voice. He is counting on his sister's great credit card. That is great. Do you know, Oppa, I will buy you a new capsule, Jian eagerly said. Hayek was also excited to praise. You are so great. Jian is perfect. Brilliant. Suddenly, Jian received a message. She shouted, Oppa, look at this, making Hayek panicked. What? What? Are all virtual reality capsules sold out? Not like that. Blackhawk sent a direct message to you. Hearing that, Hayek surprisingly asked, "Is the one who first discovered the hidden path in 80 kills 2 right?" And Jian confirmed, "That is right. Super famous game streamer. He wants to cooperate with you. Is not AT too crazy?" Hayek suddenly shouted loudly, "Are you crazy?" "No way," making Jian angry. "What? Why not? One cooperation with him and your viewership will explode." Hayek then told Jian to shut up. "You tell me to cooperate just because I have a capsule. I respect his gender identity, but I like women." Then Hayek sat down and cried, "You are so fascinated with the number of viewers that you want to steal my purity." At that time, Jian really wanted to kill Appa. The next morning, when the capsule installation was completed, the delivery staff also left. "Yes, thank you and goodbye." But Hayek was still very uncomfortable and annoyed. She should have explained more clearly. "I thought the cooperation was... Anyway, I have decided to play now, so let us start for a premium capsule bought with Giant's card with a 12-month installment payment, because she said AT was essential for future streams. Finally, I added convenient features for 20 million won. Since childhood, we have been arguing, but she is a person with a very warm heart. Jian, do not worry. I will make a lot of money from this and pay off debts and buy you a lot of gifts. Immediately after, the system immediately started full dive, started searching for games. Hayek then considered, this time, I should try playing in-game Met instead of Remet. Because he thought that if I chose a game that can technical specifications almost superhuman, then I can satisfy the craving that AT Kills 2 cannot meet. After the system gave some suggestions, Hayek felt that the game looked very good. Just try 8. If 8 looks beautiful, 80 must be at least $200 or more. Because I am broke, I have to choose the cheapest. But then Hayek was surprised. What is this? The fighting game I played as a child. Impossible. Ultimate Fighter FD full dive version of ATA. Super nostalgic fighting game. Ultifight in only $20. Buy AT right away. No but. The system then confirmed Hayek's purchase of Ultimate Fighter FD completed. Connecting to the game hall. Please select a nickname. Hayek could not help but feel excited. If his old Ultifight nickname was still linked, he would use IT. And the system immediately confirmed his nickname as Then AT continued to check Hayek's physical condition. He immediately unleashed an extremely powerful and violent blow, followed by launching his ultimate Kim MB, and the final attack. Wolf Fang, with ferocious power. So this is my maximum ability in game meet. However, Hayek was still worried. AT's not enough to call myself transcendent like before, but I can say for sure that I have surpassed the limits of ordinary humans. Surely this is the limit that ordinary people can endure. Right, if I were any faster, normal perception would not be able to keep up. Alright, I am warmed up now. AT's time for a Ryu fight. Then Hayek told the system to quickly search for a ranked match. However, Hayek did not meet the level requirements to participate in a ranked match. He just remembered AT now, and he had forgotten that rule. Looks like there is no other choice. Find an open room instead. The system immediately searched for Hayek, and while waiting, he would choose a character to play. Suddenly, a person was slashed, causing blood to splatter. The first to strike was the Sword Princess. She had won another battle today. And that was Harang. Mission accomplished. This was also a female swordsman and a streamer with a stable fan base of about 2,000 average viewers during about a year of broadcasting. And new viewers were curious about Harang. Who is this woman? How is she so good at Ultimate Fighter? Another person replied, Ultimate Fighter FD used to be a popular game. Back then, the Sword Princess was one of the top players in Ultifight with the nickname Sword Princess. And the comments continued to praise her wholeheartedly, making Harang feel embarrassed. Fanboys. Stop it. AT's been a long time since I played Ultifight professionally, so naturally not everyone would know. Moreover, when AT comes to fighting games these days, people think of Iron Fist, not Ultifight. Anyway, since I have logged into Ultifight, let us find the next match. Search for a room with players at my level. Immediately after, the system searched and found a match with an estimated waiting time of about 9 minutes. Harang went crazy. 9 minutes. That is too long. What about the next match then? and the system said she had to wait 12 minutes. So Harang was very annoyed. This will interrupt the stream. Just then, a viewer told her to do a public match quest to reminisce a bit, and Harang strongly agreed with that suggestion. Anyway, the waiting time is too long, and that viewer asked her to win 5 consecutive public matches with a time limit, so Harang could not help but panic. That is too difficult. Go easy on me. Then the viewer said that since Ultifight is no longer popular, only veteran gamers remain. The public rooms are now almost battlefields full of experienced players. This is where high-level players like to destroy beginners. That is why public matches have become the playground of veteran hunters. Then they mentioned Batago, causing Harang to angrily shout, "That is because I can't use my main character," but Batago used his main character. Finally, it was time for Harang to take on the explorer character Yetter and enter the game. She was very confident because this time, with my Smurf account, I will show everyone what Ryu Newbie Slaughter is. Immediately, Harang ordered Comp and told AT to create a public room with the title Avi Showdown. Ultifight is only for Ryu newbies. In an instant, the public room was successfully created by the system, and Harang's opponent appeared. AT was Night War Hoken. She thought. Hoken is a character with easy-to-execute moves and some cheap but effective attacks. AT is not difficult to control. Moreover, this character is very strong and always ranks in the top 3 most popular characters in Ultifight. Immediately, the battle broke. Hoken rushed to attack. Its special feature is taking advantage of the fighter's signature dash. He aimed straight at Harang and unleashed the Black Fire Strike. However, Harang quickly avoided AT, and she also revealed the secret to fighting at close range. Fighters will have the advantage, the Bidetch strategy for mages when facing fighters. Therefore, first you have to keep your distance, then use long-range magic attacks. The terrifying energy that spread amazed Hoken. Seizing the opportunity, Harang shouted, "Advance. Staff." She ordered IT to attack Hoken. The staff flew straight towards the opponent, causing him to panic. What the hell? Is this magic? AT's just throwing the staff. Suddenly, Harang grabbed Hoken's arm. This is the ultimate technique of all kinds of magic. Magical physical therapy. With that said, Harang threw Hoken to the ground. She also affirmed, "Actually, magical physical therapy is just a way to clear the path for Ryu magic. AT takes a little time to activate AT. This is the ultimate skill of the mage Yetter." Summoning meteors. Harang suddenly laughed strangely, causing Hoken to panic. He burst into tears. "This is too much." Harang smugly smiled evilly. "Goodbye platinum rank. In the next game life, I hope you will be reborn as a master." And finally, big explosion erupted violently. The Sword Sin woman won. Harang breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this opponent was not too difficult. Anyway, let us continue and complete the 5-match winning streak quest. Summon the next opponent. Immediately, the system followed Harang's orders. And this time, she faced Meta Steve, played by Hayek. But the viewers could not help but be shocked. Is not that a character only for newbies? Moreover, even if they searched for information about the Steve character, they could not find anything about the character's history. And he is warming up. The viewers were also surprised by Hayek's strange actions and laughed at AT. Look, he is even tapping the arena. Harang scolded. "That is too much. Are we really going to fight a newbie?" Although many comments told her not to bully him, Harang still wanted to complete the mission first. Moreover, she did not expect a newbie to appear. Finally, the match started. Harang was ready. The time was slowly counting down. 3. Next is 2. And 1. At the same time, as the viewers all thought the newbie would die, Hayek prepared his stance. As soon as the battle command appeared, Hayek immediately rushed forward quickly, attacking Harang. She smirked, thinking, "You think that will work on me? I even dodged Hoken's dash, so a newbie's dash is nothing to me." Immediately, Hayek took advantage of the opening, getting close to Harang. Just as she said, "Wait," she was decisively punched in the face by Hayek, and the KMB was activated. This was the perfect attack to defeat Harang, who was lying flat on the ground. Hayek even praised himself, a solid hit. And on to round 2. at which point Harang was shocked and panicked. She spoke up, "Wait, let us play again. One more match," but the viewers all thought Harang was losing. Therefore, she denied AD. "No, everyone. This is not right at all. Really. You guys know that I only lost because I was careless, right?" However, they laughed in her face, causing Harang to be angry. "No. But seriously, how is he a newbie? He is obviously a smurf. You guys also thought he was a newbie, did not you? Anyway, this time I will be the one to win perfectly." The swordswoman Harang made her final decision like that. But the viewers laughed and cheered, got slapped perfectly and immediately switched to Harang. Truly admirable. She angrily yelled at the viewers. "No, if I play seriously, I will definitely win. Everyone, I am really angry now. So, pray for his soul for me. Because, from now on, I will go all out." And the next match was ready. Harang suddenly thought, just looking at that guy, he definitely has not reached the highest rank. Transcendent. At most, he is only between Upper Diamond and Lower Master. The highest rank in Ultimate Fighter is Transcendent, and among all players, only 100 people, including myself, have ever reached Transcendent. His fighting style is not like the typical style in Ultifight. Maybe he is a master from another game, deciding to try this game. Now let me show him. The time slowly counted back to 1, and the battle began. Harang immediately rushed forward at lightning speed. What is Ryu control? Then, she frantically attacked Hayek, but fortunately he managed to dodge the deadly blow. After that, Hayek focused on counter-attacking. This time, Harang faced a T. This time, I won't fall so easily. Suddenly, Hayek grabbed Harang's hand, then raised his other hand, preparing to strike, causing her to be shocked. Wait. Without being able to beg, a powerful punch right in Harang's face. Moreover, not just one, but a series of extremely powerful punches. Harang was truly terrified and exclaimed, "I am going to die." Finally, Hayek let go, and once again, Harang was defeated with a perfect match. But Harang was still not defeated. "No, one more match, let us go." And then a battle broke out. Of course, Steve won, so Hayek had 5 consecutive wins neatly and quickly. He thought, the staff character is too easy to deal with in the early stages, but near the end, she took out her sword and used some strange skills. So A2 was a bit difficult to deal with. I wanted to try using superpowers, so I logged in through the special playmat, but due to habit, I skipped the instructions, so I had no idea how to use them and could not use anything. To be sure, I even tried using my old magic control instinct, but A2 did not work at all. Anyway, I chose this mefty to reminisce about my old power. Next time, I should read the instructions first. And suddenly, Hayek saw Harang come back. He could not help but be shocked. "You are back. You played pretty well earlier. What is your rank?" But Harang just stood there shouting, causing Hayek to not understand anything. He tried to shout loudly, "I can't hear anything." And A2 did not work, so Hayek thought, could it be that they turned on the mute function in the game so they can completely focus on the game? If so, they won't hear a word I say. Suddenly, a series of information from the system appeared, with a request for a revenge rematch received, causing Hayek to panic. What should I do? Sorry, but I have to go. See you later. Have fun playing. After saying goodbye to Harang, Hayek thought he should log out quickly and find a way to activate skills in the game. Harang was quite confused by Hayek's greeting, so he guessed, they are shouting again for some reason. Looking at the mouth movements, they are asking for my username so they can become friends and rematch later. Hayek suddenly turned around and smiled. So, hearing that, Harang was suddenly stunned, not understanding anything. Then a series of comments appeared, causing Hayek to panic. Wait, maybe they still can't hear my username like before. Suddenly, Harang shouted loudly, "Hey you, bastard." Immediately after, Player 2, which was Hayek, logged out. Harang from then on decided to take revenge. "I swear, I will find you. Who is that guy anyway? How dare they ignore me?" Immediately, a comment said. Sword Princess. That person is not ignoring you. If I tease a newly created account, voice chat will be turned off by default. But Harang still could not believe I tie. That is impossible. Everyone saw 80. The final. Harang's signature technique with the dance of death. Yet that so-called newbie dodged all the moves. Then defeated Harang while she was still attacking. And think about AT. A newbie ultifight can do that in just one match. That guy is definitely a former master who came here to hunt me. Or maybe he is a top amateur master from the golden age of ultifight. Or even a professional player hiding his identity. The legend of Ultimate Fighter. The one called the greatest legend Anatole. But AT's not him. Anatole's style is standard perfection. But this guy has no rules in each movement. As if they have absolutely no pattern. Thinking ATUV, Harang still thought no, that is impossible. If that is the case, then have not they read all my movements? And reacted during the battle? No way. That is even beyond the scope of a game. There can't be such a monster really existing. Recalling that moment, Hayek was surprised and even asked what Harang's rank was, causing her to be a little annoyed. Are you kidding me? You fought me, so you know clearly. And some comments arose. Laughing madly. He even said pretty well, making Harang extremely angry. Shut up. Okay. After that, she shouted at Hayek. Enough. Who are you anyway? Are you a former professional player? Or are you still competing? Alright. I won't ask any more. Quickly accept my revenge rematch request. Even though Harang said that, Hayek was still thinking. Sorry, but I have to go. He replied. And Harang was angry. Are you really serious? You know who I am and intentionally came here to target me. Right. Who else in the Korean server plays Harang like me? Do not pretend like you do not know anymore. And Hayek turned around and said, So, causing her to not understand in time. Then Hayek disappeared, causing Harang to decide to take revenge. I swear, I will find you. How annoying. At that moment, she shouted loudly. Anyway, do not try to stop me. I will definitely track down that bastard and make him quit the game forever. A few hours passed. Hayek finally returned. He sighed. That was the 14th match. Right, calm. Display my ranking statistics. Apart from the first player, the overall level seems quite low as Hayek won 14 matches and did not lose any. Even in ranked. Until now, every opponent falls into the trap with just one or two Baidech feints, and reveals fatal openings. But currently I am only in diamond rank. There are still 2 ranks higher than me. When I reach the highest ranks, there will definitely be more interesting opponents. To be sure, the first player from earlier seemed pretty good. I should send them a friend request. After that, Hayek sent an invitation to the female swordsman player. Done. I wonder if they will accept 80. Just then, Jayan invited Hayek to the game 80 kills too. He just remembered. Right, I had a live stream appointment with Jayan today. 80's 8 p.m. already. I have to go. Finally, Hayek entered the game with Giant. She excitedly opened her mouth. Hey everyone. Nice to see you again. Look at him. He looks exactly like a murderer. I mean, my dear Appa here is the infamous axe murderer in 80 kills. Hearing the word axe murderer, Hayek curiously asked, and Jian explained. Your previous 80 kills play is currently trending on all game forums. So, what is today's Kin 10? Oppa. Raise your axe. Let me introduce Teacher Do Hayek's ultimate skill. Running through 80 kills. The ultimate axe rampage. Jayan shouted excitedly. Jian was too excited and told Hayek, You, raise the arm holding the axe, causing him to excitedly follow along. This is Teacher Hayek's ultimate skill. Clearing 80 kills. Axe rampage unleashed. Suddenly, Jayan pointed and asked, Hey, do you remember the last time we stopped when hunting chaos? Today, we will try to get through 80 kills too, which we could not complete last time. Jayan was really active. Alright, let us start then. But suddenly, Hayek went crazy, holding the axe and trying to attack and causing her to panic. Hey! You crazy. What is wrong with you? Quickly, Hayek unleashed an attack to the back, destroying the ferocious monsters. Those were blood-sucking beasts. One after another, they came in larger numbers. Hayek immediately rushed to fight. determined to deal with the murderous creatures before they could cause any more danger. A monster suddenly jumped up. But before AT could swing its attack, Hayek grabbed its face. In the blink of an eye, he yanked hard, throwing the monster to the ground and quickly finishing AT off. At the same time, two others roared and charged in, surrounding him from both sides. Another one attacked from behind. Hayek quickly detected AT, then easily chopped off its head. Continuing on, another monster jumped up, rushing straight towards Hayek. He faced AT head-on, immediately grabbing the head of the monster he had just knocked out. Then he threw AT hard towards the new one, causing AT to roar in pain. Seizing the opportunity, Hayek unleashed another powerful attack, sending AT flying far away. From behind, the monsters roared and charged like a storm. Hayek turned around with a sharp look in his eyes, looking at them. Just a glance, and the monsters were terrified and afraid of the overwhelming aura. Hayek stepped forward without hesitation. Then he resolutely made a decisive blow and easily chopped off their heads. One after another, they were all destroyed by Hayek. "All right, should we finish off this jeeper up of monsters?" he said with a slight smile. After that, the remaining monsters continued to rush into attack. One suddenly opened its mouth, trying to eat Hayek, but he quickly spotted AT. Then he grit his teeth and said challengingly, "Now, let us continue from where we stopped last time." Hayek focused his power, performing a violent move, then charged forward. He acted crazily and destroyed all the monsters. Hayek alone defeated all the ferocious monsters. After finishing, looking at the scene caused him to lean against the wall and vomit violently. He wiped his mouth and smiled. I am too used to AT. Did I take them all down?" Hayek wondered. Then he burst out laughing, looking at how they fell with just one hit when I aimed at their weak points. "They do not seem too tough." At that moment, there were lively comments. "That is because you aimed at their necks. Normally, even shooting grenades at them might not kill them. Actually, the pros all use knives to take them down, and using melee weapons will cause them to stun longer." So Hayek realized that they were designed to be taken down that way. No wonder AT was easy. Some comments arose. "What? We can't rush in and face them head-on like you. Approaching from behind and stabbing is the best way." While reading, Hayek was surprised. Really, according to my observation, they just charge straight ahead. Do not people just need to predict, dodge, and destroy them? At that time, Jayan secretly sighed. "Ordinary people can't do that, you big idiot. You were never this stupid before. How can a genius understand the suffering of ordinary people?" "Never mind, as long as the live stream is fun." Then Jian stepped forward and called, "You, do not explain anymore. Hurry up and continue clearing the stage." So Hayek followed. In another direction, the battle was still going on extremely fiercely. Harang suddenly rushed straight towards the opponent. But he quickly reacted and blocked the attack, then knocked her sword far away. He continued to focus all his strength into his arm and counterattacked Harang with a powerful ultimate. Just as he was about to strike, Harang immediately jumped high, avoiding the deadly blow. "Why do not you turn gold?" she said through gritted teeth, causing him to panic. Without hesitation, Harang used the Dance of Death, unleashing a series of attacks around his body and causing extremely strong damage. The final result, the swordswoman won. Although the opponent was a bit difficult this time, Harang had successfully overcome. Moreover, she analyzed, based on that skill, they must have reached the transcendent level, the Dance of Death. AT's effective even against high-ranking masters. Why did not AT work against that rude guy earlier? Is that guy a current professional player enough, or a former player? Or maybe he is a professional player from Iron Fist instead of UF. One thing is certain, that he could be one of the people contending for the strongest in the world along with Anatole, the greatest legend in UF. That is right. Only someone like that would say those words to me. Maybe he was really curious about my skills. Suddenly, the system announced, "You have a friend request." The comments were curious. "What is AT? Do not tell me AT's a man. If IT is, take the bamboo spears immediately." But then Harang suddenly gasped, causing the commenters to worry. Harang suddenly trembled and muttered curses. Then she suddenly flared up. "Now you are even changing your nickname to mock me. I will destroy you." On the other hand, Hayek suddenly felt an itch in his ear. Seeing Hayek walking slowly, Jian hurriedly urged, "What are you doing? Hurry up. Did someone say something bad or something? Your ear is so itchy." "We are almost there. Past this iron door is the next boss," Jian announced. This time, she had carefully read the strategy guide, so she was quite confident. "If you press this brick, then AT will open." Jian told Hayek, "Let us go in. Just climb a few more steps. We will reach this iron bar, and behind these bars is, as you can see, countless zombies, and with them, the final doorkeeper guarding the boss of the killer. And the killer should be standing right in the middle, and looking at IT, Ada does not look like a zombie at all. Moreover, there is an old woman in a wheelchair." Suddenly, Jian shouted in panic, "Cuckoo," causing Hayek to be surprised. Cuckoo, that old woman. Based on the reaction of Jian and the viewers, she must be a boss monster, maybe the first person to be infected with the mutant virus or something similar. That is why she can control the other zombies. Before, there really was such a person. After the outbreak, China was divided into 6 countries. That guy had proclaimed himself king in one of those countries. He awakened a kind of ability similar to the zombie virus, allowing him to command the infected. With that ability, he even dared to challenge Dronzer, the strongest in China. So what was the result then? Of course, he was completely crushed by Dronzer. That event confirmed that transcendent-level hunters are immune to toxins and viruses. It's true that old memories are flooding back. Then Hayek spoke up and asked Jian, "Anyway, that is a boss monster, right?" But then there were some comments saying, "No, that is your wife," causing Hayek to be stunned in surprise. "What?" After that, Jian replied, "From what I know, if you do not save Chekulu within a certain amount of time, she will age like that. The mutation from the virus has manifested in the form of aging. Could it be that our completion time is so slow?" Hayek wondered, and Jian said, "No, actually we are extremely fast." So she asked the viewers, "Everyone, what is going on?" But they did not know either and just thought it might be a game bug. Then Hayek and Jian panicked when someone mentioned the serum spray that had not been used yet. Normally, when entering a hidden route, you have to spray the serum all zu vite the map with the nozzle. But these capitalistic slave siblings were blinded by Bluck's quest rewards. It seems they skipped the serum exploitation and pushed the game difficulty to the maximum. They can get the vaccine later to save Chakalu. So it was Hayek himself who made her like that. Anyway, that is my ex-wife, who aged due to the virus mutation. Right. And now we have to defeat her. Oh my god, what kind of storyline is this? Hayek lamented and complained. So Jian spoke up to explain. Actually, Chippy Lu is the cause of everything from the beginning. Hey everyone, do you mind revealing the Kin 10? And they certainly did not mind. The truth is, Chekulu was a biochemical weapons researcher in a military organization. The mutation that caused all this chaos was created by her and her organization to develop biological terror weapons. But she tried to secretly take the mutation out of the lab, to sell it to a rival organization. She was caught in the act and eventually had to hide here while being pursued by her own organization. And in the process, Chum Lu was infected with the pathogen from the mutation. In short, Chuck Lu is both the mastermind behind this situation and the origin of all events. She is the host of the mutation, Jian said. Hearing that, Hayek became even more excited. Alright, so to put it simply, we just need to deal with her and we beat the game. Right, Jian immediately replied. That is right. Good, then open the bars. We will rush in immediately. Hayek ordered. Immediately after, Jian pressed the button to face the boss monster. The bars were gradually opened. Let us begin. What all of you have been waiting for and looking forward to witnessing, Hayek said with a sinister smile. And he will definitely perform a grand spectacle. With the axe rampage unleashed, the raging zombies charged to attack Hayek. Without hesitation, he immediately launched a counterattack. This is the second enhanced zombie sweep, following the last one. If this is their final battle, the final boss battle will be a piece of cake. Hayek was sure of AT. However, some comments said that there are too many enhanced zombies, at least twice as many as before. Just a slight bite can cause a status effect. No matter how good Teacher Hayek is, it's impossible to clear them all and defeat the final boss. Cuckoo. But do not forget, our Teacher Hayek has the crowd sweep ultimate and the supreme technique violent storm assault. However, Hayek speculated that using this move continuously in reality met instead of game met is quite risky. So some comments from the viewers also agreed. That is right, Teacher Hayek gets motion sickness. So how will he clear those zombies? Hayek replied, if the goal is not to destroy them, but to defeat the final boss. Right then, he kicked the approaching Dombai hard in the face. After that, Hayek shouted, we can dodge the zombies, determine the shortest route, then directly defeat the final boss. Suddenly, Chiolu's flashed a fiery red. She became frantic, and a raging power was released outwards, causing Hayek to gape in amazement. Immediately, a violent explosion erupted, shaking the heavens and the earth. The comments continued to appear. Chiolu's ultimate sonic technique. If you are careless, this sonic attack is really terrible. And under that collapsed pile of rubble, there was also a pile of zombies stacked on top of each other. Suddenly, an arm rose from below, making the viewers extremely nervous. Turned out to be Hayek. He breathed a sigh of relief. I almost died. Anyway, that attack cleared the remaining zombies. Now there is only the final boss left, so Hayek speculated that if I am careful with that attack just now, I can defeat the final boss in the blink of an eye. However, Chiolu's body is releasing some kind of toxin from her body. This is to kills 2. Final boss. Stage 2. Chiolu blackface with bacterial tumor. But the comments continued to be confused. I wonder where disappeared to. Final boss. 3 killers, and he has to win with just 2 small axes. This difficulty is really crazy. Jian witnessed and could not help but panic. Are you kidding me? Normally there is only 1. Why are there 3 instead of 2 now? Not to mention there is also the final boss. Is the crazy? Right then, the system announced that the difficulty has donated 1001. From the beginning, I only thought about destroying the one who made me work hard. After reading Jian was still surprised and did not understand what was going on. Meanwhile, Hayek firmly held the axe in his hand. But Jian could not help but worry. How can I get through this? It's unreasonable. Even if the final boss is not too difficult, as a special entity, everyone knows how difficult those killers are. Not to mention they also become invisible when attacking, making the opponent even more difficult. So a viewer instructed Jian, shoot them with a gun. The hit points will appear. That is how to get through the stage. But the problem is, we can't use that method here. There is a quest to only use melee weapons. If so, can't his sister shoot? There is a reason why the room owner has not shot once from the beginning until now. Jian thought, that person is right. From the beginning, I have just been letting my brother do everything. I can just hold these weird killers back with this gun. But then Hayek suddenly called, Jian. Then he broke the gun with his hand. Forget Do not think too much, causing Jian to panic. Why? I just want to help you. Hayek grit his teeth and said, you not doing anything is how you help me. Are you still haunted by that mistake? I just want to help you. Jian shouted tremblingly. A comment even deliberately rubbed salt into her wound. That mistake made a hole in Master Hayek's forehead. The teammate destroyer, causing Jian to angrily curse. You think I wanted that to happen? At that time, Hayek smiled to himself. Jian must be trying her best too. Anyway, this is just an entertainment game. I should enjoy too. Immediately after, Hayek said to Jian, alright, do you still have the grenades we got earlier? When I signal, throw forward. Okay. Hearing that, Jian excitedly followed. Go ahead, just trust me. Then a comment said, I have a feeling she is going to forget to pull the pin. So Jian pouted and retorted. Come on, at least I know how to use grenades. Hayek even joked along, that is right, our Jian is not stupid. And now is the time to start. While Jian did not have time to understand what was going on, Hayek tried to gain momentum and rushed forward while shouting. Get ready, Jian. The monsters charged up. This is the assassin's territory. The boss battle begins. As soon as it was the right time, Hayek signaled Jian. Now. She immediately threw the grenade at them. But a comment suddenly laughed. Among all the places to throw AT, she threw AT right on Teacher Hayek's head. And then, a big explosion erupted. However, Jaehyun was so scared that she started crying. "I am sorry, brother. My hand slipped." Hayek lowered his voice. "I've lied. Of course I knew you would do that. So I grabbed Adambi's corpse as a shield. Then Hayek will show the viewers his ultimate skill. That is right. Put your trust in my axe skills. Rather than that younger sister," Hayek said as he jumped high to attack the boss monster. Not letting the monster understand, he launched an attack. This is the Assassin's Eye attack. The boss collapsed instantly in too much pain. Suddenly, an assassin monster appeared behind Hayek. He immediately turned around, then used his weapon to kill the assassin. Continuing on, Hayek focused all his strength into his arm and struck the boss's body with an extremely strong blow. But the axe did not penetrate, causing Hayek to worry. At that moment, a translucent assassin appeared behind Hayek's back. To seize the opportunity, then slammed into Hayek with an extremely strong blow. The situation at this time is quite critical. Although when attacking or being attacked, the boss's invisibility will still be broken. There is no way to penetrate that hard scale with just an axe. Suddenly, Hayek smiled sinisterly. "This is a bit troublesome. AT's even more interesting than I thought." Hearing that, some comments gasped in amazement. "He is really crazy." "That is right. This is the Hayek we know." Hayek suddenly rushed forward at lightning speed. "This time let us play for Rio. First, the one in the middle can't become invisible because his eyes have been injured. The other two are starting to become invisible. Among the alien races in the past, there were some who changed their molecular structure to become transparent by letting all the light pass through. Compared to them, these three snakes are nothing." Hayek closed his eyes to feel Ada. "Let us begin. The feeling when I destroyed those creatures in the past." While thinking, Hayek gained momentum and rushed straight towards the boss monster. Currently, he is facing two in front of him and behind him. Just then, one rushed up to use its ultimate. But fortunately, Hayek managed to dodge successfully. First, Hayek will attack the one with the injured eyes. While taking the axe and preparing to attack, he shouted, "I am not sure if the game applies this detail or not, but if the developers are the type of people who pay attention to small details. That is right. Do Ada like this, against the scales, if I focus my attack here." Because of that attack, the monster screamed in pain. "A reptile monster is done with me in just one hit." Some comments arose admiring Hayek. This is the final boss's tentacle attack. Fortunately, Hayek quickly dodged. An assassin was about to attack from behind again. Right then, Hayek firmly held the axe, then slammed the assassin with an extremely strong blow. Hayek intended to take the axe and stick it firmly into its mouth. He focused all his strength, spreading the assassin's mouth wider and wider. It's true that this is a crazy play style. Only the last assassin remains. AIT attacked ferociously. This time, Hayek realized that the biggest weakness of the reptile monster is inside its mouth and the side opposite the scales on its back. That is, its belly. Remember that. Hearing that, the comments were excited again. "I knew you were still alive. The only one who can kill God Hayek is God Jian." The assassin continued to advance even though its whole body was very painful. Hayek made a move, creating a streak of light, attacking the monster powerfully. Hayek then danced a few moves. Counter-attacking, the assassin fell to the ground, and the final boss, the bacterial entity Yahello, was revealed. Hayek excitedly rushed forward at lightning speed. For the last time, he was extremely excited about his opponent. After that, he engaged with the bacterial entity. Hayek jumped high while aiming. He shouted loudly, "Let us party." The final boss was knocked down by Hayek in a flash. As soon as the victory result appeared, some more people donated money to Hayek. Jane immediately ran to VE, excitedly shouting, "We won. We beat the game. Thank you for the donation. I am really happy that you liked it." Jian also sent a message to the live stream viewers, but Hayek was still thinking about something. "I just started getting into AT and AT ended. To be honest, the Ultimate Fighter match earlier was more interesting. Especially the battle with the Black Sword Girl. AIT was really interesting. the variety in attack styles, distance control, and psychological warfare. Compared to that, the monsters with instant kill attacks have two simple rules. Then Hayek smiled and said, "Anyway, this time was not too difficult." Right then, Black Orc donated 100,000 won. So Hayek sent his thanks. At least we were not cheated on the quest rewards. Some comments then appeared. Hayek's game clearing Vi Shu has been uploaded to Black Orc's channel. But why is Hayek's Vi Gai Duck on Black Orc's channel? So Jian explained. That is because we have not created a channel account yet. In exchange for sending viewers to them, we agreed to upload this game to Black Orc's channel. Right then, the two of them suddenly received a message from Black Orc. Continue the live stream. See you again in the next collaboration, causing the other viewers to be excited. Jian took the opportunity to announce, "This time my brother is live streaming with Black Orc." Hayek also confirmed that there are only two people, and that broadcast will not be on Jian's channel but on my channel. Jian wondered, "Have you thought of a name yet?" And Hayek really had not thought of one, so he decided to use his Ryu name. Moreover, he would rather use his name than imitate his sister and use a nickname. Hearing that, Jian got angry, so Hayek said softly, "I think Jian Chu is a very good streamer name. But does he really have to say Atia?" Then Hayek suddenly made some cute and lovely gestures, causing Jian to feel creeped out. She said, "Stop it, Ati's disgusting." Therefore, Hayek will only use the name Li Du Hayek. Jian happily announced, "Anyway, my brother's streamer debut will be at 8 p.m. tomorrow. You can find more details in my Twitch profile. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in tomorrow's live stream." The next day, some comments about Hayek continued to increase. As expected, Hayek knows how to stir up the atmosphere. Black Orc happily praised. He also asked, "You have seen these posts, right?" Hayek replied, "I have seen them. Honestly, I did not expect so many people to be talking about AT." Black Orc then excitedly said, "Because Hayek has shown overwhelming skills. I think the main 10-10 of the live stream should be games that showcase physical strength." Causing Hayek to be curious, "What game is IT? Rise of Valhalla?" Black Orc replied, "Rise of Valhalla is a game set in the 9th century, taking place during the invasion of Anglo-Saxon England by the barbarian army of Viking warriors. Its highlights are the excellent combat mechanics and extremely intense battles, brutal but more noble on the battlefield than anyone else. This is the perfect game to experience the so-called Viking high, and AT is also the most recommended game on the forum. What do you think, Hayek?" He thought and said, "Valhalla has both standard play meta and reality met, right?" Black Orc replied, "That is right. To be honest, in terms of entertainment value, Valhalla is the perfect game for you. Hayek, your greatest strength is physical skill. Valhalla supports both game met and reality met. But most people can't keep up with the Viking level physicality, so almost no one plays in reality met. If you play the game in this met, you do not even have to face boss level enemies. Even the Saxon soldiers in the early stages are extremely difficult to defeat. I tried the reality met a few times and was completely destroyed." Hearing that, Hayek wondered, "How far did you get?" Black Orc, "After many attempts, I have only defeated an ordinary knight. But right after that, I was crushed by the next one, and I would not call that a spoiler." Hayek was shocked to hear that. "You performed quite well in Ultimate Fighter earlier. So even you struggled against a knight, then AT's almost impossible for ordinary players." Black Orc was embarrassed. "Hearing that makes me a little ashamed. I lost miserably. Right before that, we had just played a match in Ultimate Fighter. And Li Du Hayek will only get stronger and stronger. If I had won just one round, I would have turned off the Enfi immediately and never fought Hayek again. The tactic is called you really pull off this trick too well. Forever I will be the one who defeated Hayek in the Enfa." Black Orc, I rushed in, hoping to brag about AT. If I ties this version of Hayek, maybe he can beat AT all the way to the end. Challenge Valhalla's reality met. Something that even I have never been able to complete. Black Orc had such thoughts. After that, he shared with Hayek, "Only a select few have ever reached the end of the Valhalla reality met challenge, and even they only passed after countless retries. But if I ties you, without a single retry, I believe you can overcome this challenge." Hearing that, Hayek understood implicitly. AT's 8 of the clock now. If I want to live up to that belief, then I need to try even harder. Immediately, Hayek called Ji in. Can you hear me? Yes. I can hear you clearly, she replied. After that, Hayek instructed. Today, remember to take on the role of a one-day manager well. So, let us begin. Full Dive is connecting to the game lobby. Hayek is now ready. After entering, Hayek greeted the viewers. I will tell everyone what we are going to play later. Does anyone have any questions for me? Immediately, some comments arose. Who are you really? What have you done before? Why are you so good at playing games? At that time, Hayek could not help but be confused, so he hesitated to answer. But in his heart he thought differently. I once saved the world as the strongest hunter and regressed. Not letting everyone wait long, Hayek smiled lightly. Talking about my past is a bit difficult, so I will skip a year. Anyway, there is something I want to ask everyone. I am planning to make games the main 1010 for my live stream. After that, the system opened the game library. There was 80 Kills 2 and Ultimate Fighter. Hayek continued. I played AT a few times when AT was a console game, so now I feel quite nostalgic. What do you guys think? After reading some comments, Hayek thought that everyone's reaction was the same as Blackhawk said. Is Ultimate Fighter really that bad? Moreover, even Jian did not agree. Ultimate Fighter is too outdated. AT's so bad that AT's called a mediocre fighting game. Nowadays, Iron Fist is the top choice for fighting games. Hayek thought. Then for the time being, AT's best to avoid Ultimate Fighter on the live stream. After that, he announced, I have decided on the game for today. And the current number of viewers is quite large, reaching 2245, making Hayek even more excited. Alright, let us start the game. Rise of Valhalla. The system immediately proceeded. Full Dive. Rise of Valhalla. Connection complete. Currently in idle meet. As soon as he entered the game, Hayek was amazed. So this is the Viking world in Rise of Valhalla. After that, Jian suggested that Hayek choose the game Met, and he will choose reality Met first. Unexpectedly, Hayek even has a pair of axes here. After that, he introduced, today, we have a special guest joining us, and that is Blackhawk. He welcomed everyone. Then Hayek continued to explain. That is right. According to our collaboration agreement, Blackhawk will bring viewers to my live stream, and in return we will upload the collaboration via IQ to his channel. And the system showed that Blackhawk had attracted 27 viewers, so he was excited. Now AT's B time. And the number of viewers continued to increase to 5,128 as of now. Blackhawk immediately thought, that is right. This is the way to build relationships, step by step. If I build a relationship with the rising star Lidu Hayek now, just standing next to him will be highly beneficial to me. Hayek began to shout loudly. Computer, start the game. Immediately, the Rise of Valhalla cutscene began. In the year 793, a terrible disaster struck the sacred land of Northumbria. A cursed name, Vikings, is where Ragnar and his Viking warriors set foot. On the coast of Northumbria, Ragnar fought his last battle against Ally, King of Northumbria. He fell into a trap and met a tragic end. Ragnar angrily shouted, You cowardly Saxons, this is not UV. My death. If my sons know about this, they won't sit still. From the warriors' hall that Odin has prepared, I will smile as I watch your demise. Valhalla. After that, Ragnar was destroyed. And so, Odin's greatest warrior, our king, Ragnar, the Viking combat instructor, Jorund ran fast, shouted loudly, fell at the hands of the ruthless Carolingians. Our mission is revenge and punishment. Only those who receive the warrior's recognition can become true warriors. Who will be the first to become a warrior of Odin? Blackhawk immediately turned to Hayek and said, Jorund, in normal play Met, he will teach you parrying and combat techniques. But in realistic me, you have to earn Jorund's recognition to have the Bidech qualifications to play Valhalla. Hearing that, Hayek could not help but be astonished. Then Blackhawk took his axe. In that case, I will try Ada first. Blackhawk was quite excited at this point. Everyone, You know I defeated a knight with a sword and shield. Right. Even if dual weapons are hard to use. AT's just changing the sword and shield to axes. That is right. Plus, I have already tried the realistic mud in Rise of Valhalla before. Jorund, hearing that, was also enthusiastic. Dual axes. AT's been a long time since I have seen a foolish rookie brave enough to wield weapons in both hands. I will teach you how to use axes properly. Come at me. Rookie. Black Orc immediately charged forward at lightning speed. That rookie title. I will make you take AT back. Black Orc had made his move, wanting Jorund ran fast to take back the word rookie. He rushed in very quickly. Thinking about his strategy, dual wielding is difficult but has its own advantages, and that is the unpredictability of two weapons. Black Orc baited a defense from the very first attack, but Jorund predicted AT and blocked IT. The instructor said gleefully, scorning the attack as too weak. But Black Orc was still pleased, using the opening to unleash a flurry of dual blade strikes, counterattacking Jorund once more. But a large hand punched him right in the face. Jorund ran fast knocked down Black Orc with a single blow. While he was trembling, bitter about the blow, the viewers of the livestream laughed at Black Orc for foolishly playing dual wield. Jorund, feeling bored, told him he had no talent and to go work in the kitchen. Some netizens criticized Black Orc's cooking and pointed out that being told that was terrible in Viking terms. Then the instructor challenged the people there. While Lidu Hayek was asking about Black Orc, he asked if his dual-wielding skills were really that bad. As soon as Hayek said no, he happily said, "You understand me the most." But then Hayek calmly said, "If IT's bad, there is nothing Black Orc can do about AT." The netizens who heard Hayek's words all laughed and thought he was right. More scathing than in peace, but Black Orc felt very shocked. Every word Lidu Hayek said made him cry oh and get angry. Hayek talked about dual wielding, saying that in practice AT must be very precise and meticulous. Then he confidently told Black Orc to watch him play AT kills too and he would understand. Black Orc said he would already watched IT and even practiced along. At this time, Lidu Hayek made in Juve the top, moved to tears expression, making the netizens criticize Black Orc even more. He even patted him on the shoulder, encouraging him to keep trying. Someone donated, wanting to see Hayek defeat Jorund. The two people who were just talking were now in two different states of mind. 3 more people donated, wanting to see Hayek fight. He thanked everyone and wondered if defeating Jorund was difficult, which Black Orc explained to him. He talked about how strong he was and looked at the area where he was sweeping away challengers. On this side, Jorund was bored of fighting these weaklings. Then he roared, looking for more challengers. More people donated, betting that Jorund would not be able to defeat Hayek, but some people commented in rebuttal, making him stop the argument. Hayek picked up his weapons, feeling that winning was too simple and he needed to consider something. He made a suggestion that the other guy did not understand if he won. Hayek said, "If I win in 10 seconds, AT'll be considered a mission complete." 3 more people donated to bet on this because they felt AT was safe. Everyone praised Hayek, but put down Black Orc, making him speak up in his defense. While Black Orc was still bitter, Jorund asked Hayek if he was also using dual blades. He called him rookie again, challenging whether Hayek was worthy of using dual blades. His hand raised a blade. A surge of golden light emanated from Hayek as he launched an attack. Jorund dodged and was still trying to figure out his strategy. This time Hayek rushed in front of him, which also confused him. He unleashed a fairly strong attack, which also made him use his strength to block. He figured out that the axe throw was a distraction, and said Hayek was quite capable. Hayek picked up the axe again. Thinking, he blocked this move, so his combat technique is not bad. In his mind, he was still thinking and wondering about the combat technique he learned. Hayek also thought that there were still many stronger NPCs, but the experience he had accumulated through life or death battles was still stronger. Then he prepared to fight again, to defeat Jorund. Hayek showed his strength. The instructor praised him, saying his aura was not bad. As soon as he finished speaking, he quickly rushed into attack. He made a move to test Hayek's aura of power. He used his twin axes to block Jorund's attack. He used his Ryu power to fight Hayek. He also used all his strength to fight him, but Jorund was still slightly stronger in terms of power. Hayek made a move to block his barrage of attacks. Jorund also had to defend quite heavily with this move. He used his foot to lock his weapon, and jumped up to seize the opportunity to attack. Hayek's opening move actually kicked him hard, plus a punch to the arm. which made him angrily shout, "You damn brat." Then Lee Do-hyuk jumped up and performed a kick, facing the other way from Yorund. He grabbed Hyuk, but he was still standing on his head. And conversely, a source of golden light made Yorund feel pain. He turned back and muttered, "This kid." Yorund was surprised when the axe was about to swing at his neck, but Hyuk would not kill him and declared the match UVA. The system announced that the mission was successful. Blackhawk. Everyone there, and the netizens all praised him as being too amazing. 2 more people donated because they always believed Hyuk could do AT. He was very happy and thanked everyone. Yorund stood up and told him that his strong attack reminded him of Odin's son or something. Blackhawk also realized and said that being called Odin's son was the highest honor for a Viking, and the netizens also recognized Yorund as being worthy of being a straight talker. Then he asked Hyuk his name, with the warrior's name blessed by Odin. He said the name Gunnar, explaining that Gunnar Do-hyuk is the main character of Rise of Valhalla. Yorund said that was indeed a Viking-style name. The system also announced that Hyuk was recognized. The mission was announced, and there was also information about Odin being the god who rules war and frenzy, and bestows strength to fight against enemies. And Gunnar is a great warrior, who perhaps carries the blood of a king like the god Odin. Lee Do-hyuk was surprised that there was even a mission. Being recognized as a warrior was 1/5 complete. Everyone on the livestream with Blackhawk did not expect that Yorund would assign the mission directly. Everyone was wondering, and Hyuk also thought that this must be a rare mission. Blackhawk also said that this was a side quest, but AT was difficult for anyone to receive. The name of the main quest that Hyuk needed to do was Odin's 5 of. He also explained that when a player is recognized by 5 warriors, they will receive the title of Son of Odin. And having this title is what distinguishes Valhalla Masters from commoners. Blackhawk also guessed that the mission did not appear the first time, but he had never heard of AT appearing in the tutorial area, because in the past, someone had defeated Yorund. But AT was only when he was given the Odin's 5 mission that he knew about AT. Then Blackhawk directly explained to Hyuk that time was also a condition to unlock the mission, and defeating Yorund in 10 seconds would make the mission appear, which made Hyuk wonder if there was a time limit. More people donated but compared Blackhawk to Hyuk. Blackhawk's face turned ashen when he saw the Fen 10 of the comment. Then he argued with the people who were laughing at him, saying that dual wielding was difficult and that AT would spread to Lee Do-hyuk. Then he patted Blackhawk on the shoulder and told everyone that if you do not have the talent, you should not play with 2-handed weapons. Then Hyuk also explained that he was not criticizing him, but Blackhawk did not have the talent to control dual blades. Hyuk's words made the netizens laugh even more, making Blackhawk even angrier. He held his sword and said that he accepted Hyuk's words, but not the netizens. And he declared that he would use his main weapon to receive Yorund's recognition, but the commenters still teased him, telling him to equip a shield and sword. Lee Do-hyuk also spoke up to cheer him on, but the netizens did not think Itai was worth mentioning. Blackhawk got annoyed and told everyone not to bother him so he could go into battle immediately. As soon as someone else donated and recognized him, Blackhawk regained his spirit. He got into a fighting stance to prove that he was not inferior to Hyuk, and to make those people take back their words. Yorund saw him and still called him a mother's milk-smelling kid who had come back for a rematch. Because he could not accept those insults, Blackhawk charged forward. He strongly declared, "I will make you shut your mouth." In the comments section, everyone was still laughing at him. Blackhawk made a move, but Yorund blocked it. He pushed him away, criticizing the attack as too weak if he wanted to break through his defense. Then he rushed at Blackhawk with a very strong attack. He dodged this move, but then he also got a palm strike right in the stomach. Yorund was happy, saying that he had to have this kind of spirit. Now he kicked Blackhawk and picked up the axe, wanting to have a good fight, while he was already in a terrible state. But Blackhawk used his shield to block his attack. He was using all his strength to block him. Finally, he counterattacked, striking back at Yorund. He said seriously, "The attack is pretty good, but you are still green." Then he punched Blackhawk in the face. The two of them fought back and forth, in the presence of Hyuk and everyone else. And Hyuk also recognized that he was using the shield and sword better because he could gauge the distance. But Blackhawk was knocked to the ground. Yorund's axe was at his neck. He declared the match UV to his chagrin and everyone's witness. Then he said that Blackhawk was better after changing weapons, and the system announced that he had been recognized. Then Yoren told everyone to disperse, and Hayek also helped Black Orc up, when he was very happy to be recognized by him. Then he asked the two of them if they were confident in going hunting. Black Orc recognized that this was a mission, so he said that they were confident and showed off his archery skills. Rorand assigned them to join the hunting party, bring back food, and the system provides camping and hunting equipment for no more than 5 people. Sometime later, the sky was night. Hayek and Black Orc had reached 4 of 5 hunts. This time they had hunted rabbits. But Black Orc wondered why he was standing still without shooting, or if AT was because he had never used a bow before. And he also explained that he had shot magic bows and toy bows, but this was his first time with a real one. Hayek agreed when Black Orc suggested that he practice shooting at the tree. He focused on listening to his shooting instructions. The first arrow was shot by Hayek. He also realized that Ada missed when Ada flew into the roof. Seeing that scene, Black Orc burst out laughing and taunting. What was that? Ada missed. Everyone commenting was also surprised that there was something that Hayek could not do. But he wanted to practice more to get used to the bow. Black Orc was very happy to teach Hayek archery. He was so full of himself that his nose was about to grow long, saying that if he wanted to learn, he should just trust him. Anyone who saw him like that said that he was too complacent even though he had also missed a lot of times. But he was still narcissistic. Suddenly, there was a deer in the back, attracting Hayek's curiosity. Black Orc also noticed the deer and pushed him out of the way. He confidently drew his bow to show off his skills. One hit kill was shot. And boom, AT missed and hit the tree, scaring the deer away, so everyone had an excuse to laugh at him. Hayek could not stand to watch him raising the bow while the deer was running away. Then he pushed Black Orc aside, not letting him show off anymore. Hayek grabbed the axe and took a deep breath. With this one shot, the deer disappeared. Both Black Orc and the livestream viewers were amazed when he took down the deer by guessing the direction and throwing the axe at AT. He went to pick up the axe again, and everyone in the comments was praising him, and the hunt had reached 5 of 5. The two of them were confused when there was another linked raid mission. The system reported that Saxon soldiers were targeting the Viking base. They were outside reporting the situation to the commander. One of them was very happy to report to the boss, and told his subordinates to continue monitoring. The two people on this side also received a report of a Saxon attack. These guys had gathered troops with a commander who was an elite Saxon warrior named Carol. Hayek and Black Orc were quite surprised that the enemy was targeting the base and needed them to return immediately. The remaining time of the raid had appeared, and Hayek also felt that it was time for the official game to begin. A player had donated, wanting him to fight with an axe for 5,001. He said that was fine and thanked him for the mission. Black Orc wanted the two of them to leave immediately and said that he knew the way. Meanwhile, Hayek was still confused about where to go back to. He said to go back to the base because he was afraid AT would be too late if they were slow. Black Orc was also shocked by Hayek's plan to block the enemy on the way. Because he was blinded by money, he was afraid that if they fought at the base, he would lose all the donated money. Black Orc was still scared that they would attack with a lot of force, and they were only 2 soldiers. In the comments, the donation and discussion about the 5,001 bet was lively. Hayek had set off, shocking him that he was really doing AT. The Saxons were still walking on the road, being vigilant, and listening to the boss's instructions. Suddenly, a ray of light flashed past, and Hayek's flying axe had made one of them disappear, shocking his comrades. They reacted and received orders to attack. Then they also realized that the two of them were Vikings. While they were still looking down on them, Hayek rushed forward, despite his teammates' obstruction. The commander ordered them to charge. He also told Black Orc that whoever finished first would get everything. One of the guy's shields was broken by Hayek. He continued to rush forward, sweeping away each person one by one. The axe flew back into his hand, and continued to be used by Hayek as a weapon of war. One of them attacked from behind, but he dodged it. Then he took a punch right in the face. Along with a completely finishing move from Hayek, the Saxon boss and the guys behind him were on guard against him. He yelled, wanting him to stop. Netizens reminded him of his name, so Black Orc also entered the battle, to fight directly with the Saxons. To prove his strength, on Hayek's side, he had defeated 6 people. He was still thinking about the name for his skill, and also wondering if Black Orc was fighting properly. As soon as he turned around, he saw him getting beaten badly, having to ask Hayek for help. He saw him and thought he seemed to be okay, but in reality, He was about to collapse, needing to ask for help, which made everyone laugh at him again. Blackhawk also cursed when Hayek said that he would take the opportunity to reduce the number of troops first. As soon as he finished speaking, another guy wanted to assassinate him, but he was also obliterated. Hayek frantically swept through these guys, one by one. They were quickly defeated. A sinister look also appeared on his face. The guys who were fighting also felt scared. Then they were also hit. One after another, Hayek defeated them in an instant. The netizens were amazed when Hayek had swept them all away and there were only 6 people left. The boss and the remaining guys felt scared, making everyone confused when the NPC knew fear. Hayek stopped fighting and wondered if these guys were planning to run. While fighting with Blackhawk, Carol ordered his subordinates to continue fighting. But they all ran away together because they were too scared, so they decided to run away. Seeing that scene, Hayek was silent. Taking advantage of this opportunity, they fled in all directions. Seeing this, Hayek did not let these guys escape, his arm prepared to swing the axe at them. Very fast streak of light flashed past. The result was that AT hit one of the guys who was running, making his comrades very panicked. He could only shed tears, knowing that his life was about to end. The people commenting also thought that these guys were so miserable that they gave up, because they were being gradually defeated one by one. The netizens also realized that Hayek was of axes, but he wanted to try using the bow and arrow. Someone wondered if the axe mission was OVH, and he said that he had planned ITO beforehand. An arrow was shot by Hayek, when everyone knew that he was bad at archery. AT really missed, scaring the guy who was running, and everyone laughed at his archery skills. After shooting an arrow, he also realized something. Then Hayek aimed and shot again very seriously. But in the comments they were still advising him to give up. First, one of them was targeted by Hayek. Ada really hit the enemy's foot, surprising everyone. He was happy when he aimed and hit the other guy's foot. Painful cry from another guy when Hayek shot him in the foot. The livestream viewers were very skeptical that he was doing a tie on purpose, constantly shooting the enemies in the foot, not knowing why. They were even more surprised when the netizens saw him hitting them continuously. Then Hayek jumped up and kicked one of them, causing him pain. He turned around in horror and begged for mercy. But Hayek did not care and finished him off with an axe. Another guy was still trying to crawl away, before his sinister gaze. He shouted, telling him not to come here. And Hayek gave him a very painful blow, logging him on the spot. In the forest echoed the sounds of death. While he was lecturing the guy who wanted to run, the online community was still wondering how he got used to shooting arrows so quickly, and even suspected that he had been reincarnated, because he was bad at archery a moment ago. Then Hayek also answered their questions, saying that he got used to AT after shooting the bow for a while. He said that, but no one believed him and thought that Hayek was lying. But he did not care because now there was only Carol left to defeat. Blackhawk was still fighting Carol with all his might, turning to ask Hayek for help, asking him not to just stand there and watch. This guy attacked strongly, causing Blackhawk to fall for daring to look away. Everyone laughed when he fell, while Hayek was still trying to explain. Carol continued to swing his attack, but still did not forget to curse. Blackhawk struggled to block this attack, and was angry that his comrades did not help. Hayek was still playing dumb on his side. AT made him so angry that he said he was deaf, but continued to call for help. Carol shattered his shield. Even his sword broke. He wanted to eliminate him immediately, because he was a Viking player. Blackhawk, in a precarious situation, could only scream, but Hayek jumped and blocked the finishing blow. To his astonishment, this guy went crazy cursing. This bastard. Then Hayek circled behind him and used his special move. With a stone-cold face, he delivered a palm strike, ending Carol's life in an instant. The system announced that the ambush mission was complete. Netizens praised him for carrying the thing alone, while Hayek was asking Blackhawk about the recent situation. He looked up with a resentful expression, asking why he did not help sooner. He nonchalantly replied that he thought he did not need help. Blackhawk was stunned after hearing this. Hayek made a cute face and explained that people usually get angry when their monsters are stolen, and he did not think he was in much danger. Blackhawk was really furious, but Hayek even said that being in danger means losing something on your body. While the two were still arguing about the dangerous event that just happened, Blackhawk was sulking and blaming Hayek for not wanting to help him, when a group of people ran up from behind, calling, "Gunnar, Black Orc turned around and was horrified to see Yorund. But he slapped him in the face, telling him to get out of the way. Then he went to Hayek to ask if he was okay. But he said he was fine. Black Orc also chimed in to let Yorund know he was there too. 2 more guys ran up looking for Hayek and Yorund, running into Black Orc. The 4 were still assessing the enemy situation and asking about Gunnar. But Black Orc was tired and said he was logging off for the day. Hayek also mentioned that Black Orc was not doing well. And when he turned around, he saw that he had logged out. Everyone only cared about him, making the online community laugh at Black Orc being snubbed. In Hayek's mind, he realized that the tutorial was Zuvei, and he heard that the Ria world was now open. He looked up at the sky, still not knowing what to do now. Another person donated generously, wanting Hayek to take down Fist Rifawa for him. With the current equipment, he would get extra rewards and the time limit was 12 hours. Both he and everyone else felt that this person was too rickett. Even though he did not know what Fist Rikafi was, Hayek would try his best for the money. Yorund asked him if he wanted to take down Beowulf alone and that AT was impossible. He agreed to help Hayek when he did not understand anything yet. Then the system announced that he could now recruit teammates. But he felt that having more teammates. What are the benefits? And there was also a netizen explained to understand about having teammates. Because he heard the explanation, Hayek told them to go together. Yorund was satisfied with this decision so told his men to prepare horses to go. The horses were still panting as they ran. While riding the horse, he asked him about what Fistros Beowulf was. Yorund told about Beowulf was a dragon who used to serve the king, but after the king passed away, he lost his honor. He also told more information he heard. He was robbing villages somewhere in the Sarksit region. The system provided information about Beowulf who was now lost. Once one of the greatest warriors of the Ragnar Riders. A warrior as blessed by Odin. If Hayek could lead him back to Valhalla. The mission to gain the warrior's recognition reappeared. He had only achieved 1/5. Now he needed to find Beowulf and be recognized as a warrior. At the same time Hayek read the mission. Netizens were again seeing his new mission also suspected about this mission. The 2 horses stopped at the cliff. Yorund signaled that they had arrived. He pointed. Uve, there is Beowulf's lair. At that moment, the wind rose again as a sign of a battle to come. Because he knew him, Yorund told Hayek to wait here. If he needed help, blow the horn he gave him. As soon as he heard the instructions, he rode straight to the enemy's base. Because it was too sudden, some people commented to stop him. Ignoring the reminder that there were bandits, Hayek rushed to the front of the guards of Beowulf's side. He also wondered if he had to take down all these guys to meet Beowulf. Some people suggested that he could sneak in and assassinate Beowulf to complete the mission. As soon as they saw Hayek, the gate guards raised their weapons to stop him. But he still rode up to assert that a true Viking warrior would not attack in the dark. The guys inside the camp also felt the danger when they heard the noise outside. Before they could recover, they were shocked to see Hayek using his horse to smash through the camp gate. In the camp, they knew they were under attack so they gathered troops to fight. Hayek held a bow and arrow and shot towards where they were standing. Some guys were taken down when he shot them with arrows. Then, one by one, those who wanted to run away were hit by his arrows and fell. The others gathered, holding weapons to stab the horse Hayek was riding, with the aim of eliminating the horse he was riding was stabbed. But he jumped up and continued to shoot arrows, to the amazement of the enemies. There were many arrows being shot by him. Each shot was accurate, so the enemies also painfully fell down. Hayek strongly landed where they were standing on fire. He stood up with a pensive face. Beowulf's soldiers were very angry and told each other to raise their shields. When he saw these guys using shields, Hayek came up with a plan. He threw away his bow and arrow, still thinking that this was a cowardly weapon, and strongly held the axe from now on. He strongly declared, "I will use the axe to sweep away everything." A geepy rup of people rushed towards Hayek screaming, "Kill him." Lidu Hayek dodged with a murderous look, swinging his axe. One by one, they were taken down by his axe. A ginger-haired guy rushed up. Hayek quickly used the axe to block the attack. He turned around and swung the axe in response. The ginger-haired guy had his head chopped off, with a very painful expression. Another guy held a sword, intending to attack from behind. Sensing the danger, Hayek glared with murderous intent and rushed up. With a fierce face and a strong body, he tightly hugged him. The others tried to attack. One guy shouted, "Shoot!" Hayek used the corpses as shields. They panicked and shouted. The black-haired guy continued to order, "Shoot!" Suddenly, a corpse was thrown Uvich. He angrily swung his sword to knock the corpse aside and shouted, "Who do you think you are, daring to play tricks here?" In the blink of an eye, Hayek rushed up very quickly to his face. He did not have time to react. He swung his axe and hit him. At this time Hayek was no different from a beast, intending to swing the axe to finish him off. One of them shouted loudly, "Leader." Immediately after that call, an axe flew quickly in the wind. Suddenly the axe flew to Hayek, but he blocked its height. A giant foot stepped forward, with a giant body. He spoke. "ADN's here," online viewers excitedly commented. Beowulf has appeared. The black-haired guy was overjoyed and shouted, "Leader." He broke in here. Hayek smashed the axe into him and said, "Shut up." Beowulf was startled and shouted, "You brat." Hayek held the axe in both hands and said proudly, "No time for that. Let us have a fight. Come here." Hearing this, Beowulf angrily slammed the axe down, causing smoke to rise. Then shouted, "Are you tired of living?" He suddenly disappeared but still shouted loudly, "Are you tired of living?" Beowulf rushed quickly, his eyes radiating burning murderous intent. "I will let you know what regret is." Scene shifts to a training place. There are two doomed men are fighting. The system board appears with the announcement. "Anatole wins," Anatole calmly said. "Hello everyone. Long time no see." Viewers excited to Anatole's name. He nonchalantly replied, "Yes, that is right." People commented, "This is the first live after the Iron First World Tournament a few days ago. Right. It's a pity that this time only made a T to the semi-finals." Anatole looked lost. Seeing this, the viewers cared. "Are you okay?" He immediately replied, "I am fine now. I have rested for the past few days and regained my form." Anatole clenched his hands, thinking to himself, back in Ultimate Fighter. Everyone thought of Anatole when they mentioned the World Championship. Winning the championship cup was like eating a meal. He stood pensively. But in this Iron First tournament, the highest achievement was only making AT to the semi-finals. In Anatole's thoughts, with the determination not to give up, he said, "Today, let us review the fighting spirit of the beginning." Anatole continued, "Or should I visit my hometown?" He snapped his fingers and the number of views appeared as 38,217. Anatole logged. Everything started to disappear. Gato of Iron First. Started Ultimate Fighter. The views gradually decreased. Someone scornfully messaged, "Views are dropping. Who plays a dead game?" Anatole teleported to a house dressed neatly and said, "Whoa. AT's been a long time since I have been back here. AT's probably been almost a year since I have been an Ultimate Fighter." He snapped his fingers again and said, "Today, let us play the Hoken side account." Immediately Anatole was changed into new clothes. He said happily, "Now, let us get into the match," and ordered the computer, "Match me up." A robot immediately replied, "Searching for a match." Scene shifts to a house, where there are loud screams. This time the reaction is as explosive as usual. "Look at this." Viewers explode. "Oh my god." Watching the highlights still gives me goosebumps. After editing, looks like a genius's highlights. The scene of Beowulf and Hayek preparing to fight appears. The number of views keeps increasing to 102,000. Everyone commented that the skills of the two are really top-notch. Legion said dissatisfied. "Even memes are vrove laibida." Swoosh. Stab. Slash. Hayek looked blankly, not understanding. Gian turned around happily and said, "At this point, I probably do not need to do anything to get enough views. The hotter AT gets, the harder you have to try. Understand?" Hayek smiled and replied, "Yes. AT's all thanks to Gian. Today have made manager Appa work hard." Gian sleepily said, "AT is no trouble. I am going to sleep. Oppa should rest early too." Hayek immediately said, "But AT is a waste to sleep tonight. Or should I try Iron First, the game that is currently hot?" Hayek gave up that idea and continued, "Let us just follow the plan and grind up to the outer heavens in Ultimate Fighter. I just need to win one more match to reach the Grandmaster rank." "Right." Hayek closed the door, holding the card in his hand and said, "But little black kitten, little rabbit in the friend list never seems to be online. Do not tell me she quit the game." He immediately went to the computer to play, casually saying, "Never mind." The computer activated full dive. The robot replied, "Full dive is entering the game lobby." Hayek logged into the game, searching for an opponent. The system displays a notification board. He looked at AT in surprise. The nickname is the first champion of the noodle cooking competition. The system gave two choices, decline or accept. Hayek wondered again. The record is no wins, no losses. Probably an old account that has not been logged in. He pressed the accept button and said, "Well, let us just go in and see." Anatole found an opponent and rubbed his chin. A strong nickname like that. Oh, 100% win rate. Anatole reasoned. Probably Grandmaster or Outer Heavens rank. Maybe a side account of someone I do not know. The viewers immediately ridiculed when they saw this nickname. Anatole looked and questioned. A guy who specializes in playing weird. Who is this? People kept discussing this nickname and praised the achievements he had made. Anatole glanced at the notification and nonchalantly said, "Is that so?" He immediately accepted. Confidently continued. Another masked hidden expert. Huh. Let us see if you can keep your style in front of me. In front of him appeared a dung man full of overwhelming momentum. Anatole pretended to answer. A secret expert has appeared. With a cheerful face, he put his hands together and said, "Let us see if I can guess your true identity correctly." Anatole raised his hand and said, "Come on. Let us have a showdown." Suddenly Hayek pointed at Anatole, making him wonder. Hayek raised his hand with a provocative look and said, "But why do not you go first?" Anatole looked a little angry and replied, "Is not this looking down on me?" In an instant, Anatole disappeared and shouted, "I will make sure you can't say that again." Anatole seriously rushed in with a fist of fire, smoke billowing. Lidu Hayek kicked his opponent, but Anatole successfully dodged to the side. Anatole seized the opportunity to grab Hayek's leg. He struggled and threw Hayek away. Anatole turned around and gritted his teeth. Hayek, who was falling freely, covered his face with his hands, while Anatole prepared to throw a punch. Anatole, with a determined face, used a very strong force to punch Hayek. He began to sweat, his mind panicked, thinking, "Crazy." He blocked that move. Unexpectedly, a powerful kick from Hayek hit Anatole right in the face, which was distorted. Hayek, with a murderous face, turned and kicked Anatole to the ground very violently, causing him to cry. Lidu Hayek was full of momentum, preparing to swing a fatal fist. At this time Anatole had just taken a painful hit, with a ZF spot on the floor, turned his face in horror. Fortunately, Anatole managed to dodge before Hayek's heavenly punch went straight into him. A large area on the floor cracked due to the terrible punching force. Viewers were very surprised by the exchange of moves just now. Anatole was injured at this time after struggling to dodge that punch. Hayek's face was grim like a beast looking at Anatole. Viewers commented, "Perhaps he has been too lax after a while." Anatole gritted his teeth angrily, thinking, losing his form of alert. AT's not just that his moves are only part of AT, but he observed Hayek and reasoned. There was something else in the recent exchange of blows, a strange sense of unease. If I do not understand what that is, I will lose. Anatole rushed up again, thinking, first I will try his reaction, a dash attack. Anatole managed to dodge when Hayek threw a blow. He bent down and grabbed Hayek's leg, thinking, AT's just a fake move. The Ryu move is a low attack counter. Suddenly Hayek raised his leg and kicked, causing Anatole's eyes to widen in surprise, thinking, hit. Hayek's face was murderous. The kick tore through the air. Fortunately, Anatole dodged but was pushed far away and horrified, thinking, what the hell? He reacted immediately with a close-range counterattack. Is AT just a beggar? Hayek rushed up, swinging his fist in front of Anatole. Anatole dodged with difficulty. He unexpectedly struck, but Hayek quickly blocked a T. Lidu Hayek turned around, grabbed Anatole's hand tightly, then slammed hard on his arm. He cried "oh" in pain. Hayek used his elbow to hit Anatole straight in the face. Anatole gritted his teeth and endured, thinking in surprise, is he reading all my attack timing? Anatole planned to punch Hayek. Hayek quickly dodged. He turned around and slammed Anatole away. Anatole cried "oh." His eyes widened in surprise along with the thought, reverse Iron Mountain. Hayek constantly used moves that made Anatole constantly dodge. He reasoned, AT is impossible to counterattack without a preparatory movement. In the Enfa skill system, the reverse Iron Mountain only activates after a special stance. At this time, Anatole was struggling to resist Hayek's punches with the thought, AT is definitely possible to skip that posture when performing the skill, but then the timing will be wrong and AT will not be possible to unleash this kind of power. Viewers commented, it seems that Anatole is at a disadvantage. The two constantly made moves. Suddenly Hayek stomped hard. Hayek's entire body was covered with burning flames. Anatole guessed that this was the crimson flame kick. Anatole glanced at the flames thinking, "Damn. The energy from the crimson flame kick is cutting off my retreat," he fearfully thought. And then the decisive blow. A finishing blow that forces the opponent into a one-way confrontation. Is he using such a wide-range skill at this close range? Anatole reasoned. Opening. This is my chance. The crimson flame kick is very strong, but after that move, 80 is impossible to recover. Anatole thought. The time has come. Just reading the timing of the move. Then dodging this move is as easy as eating cake. Anatole launched a fist of fire, scheming. Then I will take advantage of the crimson flame kick's cooldown time to deal a fatal blow. Anatole was smugly thinking. Victory will belong to me. Before he could react, Hayek kicked Anatole in the face, leaving him unable to resist. Anatole screamed. He thought in confusion. To skip the skill penalty, you have to manually enter each movement. Now I understand that strange feeling. Now Anatole was no different from a punching bag for Hayek to punch as much as he wanted. Anatole thought. This guy, he has never relied on automatically editing the movements once. The notification board appeared with the system login Hoken 1. After taking a beating, Lee Do Hayek breathed lightly. Phew. You have some skill. While Anatole lay listlessly on the floor, viewers were no less surprised. Anatole blankly. Impossible. Is 80 really possible to activate the skill with absolute accuracy without fixing errors? Anatole frowned, thinking. I have to confirm again, he seriously said. One more match, please. Hayek happily replied. Sure, let us fight. Anatole rushed up again and said, I am coming. The two fought. The system announced again Hoken 1. Anatole was beaten black and blue while Hayek said refreshingly. Almost lost. Anatole again demanded a duel, one more match. The sound of punches and kicks flew up. Then beat each other again. Hayek powerfully threw a punch. In the end, Hoken still won. Hayek asked and said, I had 5 consecutive matches. Let us stop here today. Anatole's tattered appearance with a little remnant said, Yeah. Me too. Lee Do Hayek sighed and said, Phew. How many Ramian wins do I have now? A notification appeared, showing 26 wins and no losses. Hayek clenched his fist and said, One more win and I will reach the transcendent level. If I reach the transcendent level, I will find more interesting opponents. He continued, and if my stream viewers find I am playing in Fa Fighter, and I am the rookie streamer who said see you tomorrow on stream, they will throw stones at me if they find I am playing another game alone. Hayek said with a serious expression. So I have to hide my identity for as long as possible, then reveal AT when I reach rank 1 in Ultimate Fighter. Hayek asked the system, Calm. I have set the by Dech information and appearance to private. Right. The system responded, Yes. Until you change the settings. The system, which offered customization, asked him, Would you like to change your appearance? Hayek bluntly replied, No. I will keep it as I tie is. He continued, Anyway, if in fear is this fun. Iron first, the pinnacle of fighting games, must be even more thrilling. Hayek looked at the notification board and said, To prepare for that, I should befriend people like Ramian. He ordered, Calm, send a friend request to Ramian. Calm asked, Do you want to send a message? Hayek replied, Because Ramian is pretty good, he said with a slightly mischievous expression, to encourage him and motivate him to improve. Then say, The next morning, Anatole received a new message with an admiring tone. You are really talented. I send a friend request. Let us play together next time. Okay. After reading the message, his face showed clear surprise, not understanding what just happened. He was confused by the information that the current number of viewers was increasing, now at 22,176 people, and countless compliments were directed at him. Anatole, you are talented. This guy is crazy. Then many friend requests were sent to him. He was both happy and worried, not expecting to hear this phrase, especially in the Ultimate Fighter game. An electronic notification appeared. Anatole has received a donation of 1,001. So, have you guessed who ATI is? He said, embarrassed and honest. I really do not have a single clue. He scrolled through the screen, searching, and reviewed the previous match. then said, "While we are talking about AT, let us watch the previous game clip. Shall we?" Here 8 is the part with the crimson flame kick. The previous match was intense and nerve-wracking, giving him goosebumps even when watching AT again. Many comments were left, such as, "That kick was not edited. Right. That is why Anatole got hit. Crimson flame kick activated. So awesome." Anatole smirked, enjoying watching the spectacular match again. He focused on the opponent's tactics and analyzed them. Not just that kick, all of the opponent's movements were not edited. If I said that, the chat would explode. He clenched his fist, expressing his determination, and continued, "I thought I had mastered Ultimate Fighter, but I did not expect there to be something beyond me like this." He thought, maybe that is why I struggled in Iron Fist. Is the answer here? Anatole decided to close the chat. He said to the gamers, "That is enough replay for now." Many players expressed regret. "I wanted to hear your analysis more." This time, he was determined, telling himself that he could not be the only one suffering. If this VA does not get leaked, my opponents will get beaten to a pulp by that bastard. He continued, "So, I have to keep AT a secret as much as possible." He laughed gleefully, saying to himself, "You guys have to taste the shock I received when I fought him." Reading a series of unfavorable comments about her brother, Li Jian angrily slammed her hand on the table. "This is so annoying, and the name is so lame." She was furious, her face sullen. The entire forum is full of posts about him. If IT were not for him, my brother would be at the top of the hot clip list. She continued, "He is just busy practicing Valhalla. If he opened Ultimate Fighter, he would send that guy back to the lobby right away." She returned to work, sighing. "Anyway, I have to manage the forum to keep my brother alive." Ian glanced, starting to feel suspicious. That guy said he was going to the convenience store earlier. Where did he disappear to? Switching the scene to the convenience store, a voice rang. "Oh my god. This kid. If you want banana milk, go buy it yourself. Be grateful I let you use my card." The store owner complained about the customer. She grumbled uncomfortably, "Buy a lot." The boy shyly ran to the door and accidentally bumped into Lee Du-hyuk. He fell on his butt, accidentally dropping the knife hidden in his pocket. Hyuk immediately rushed Vape to help the boy up, asking kindly, "Are you okay? Can you stand up?" The boy's face was dirty, and he slowly raised his head, stammering, "Yes. I'm sorry." Hyuk was surprised, unable to hide his emotions, and recognized this boy. "You can't be Big Ear Ji Gal mine." The boy was panicked and startled. "How do you know my nickname and Ryu name? Who are you?" Du-hyuk could not believe his ears. He asked again, "Really Ji Gal mine? Before the regression, you were my subordinate, Big Ear Ji Gal mean." Memories flooded back. He remembered the time before the regression and recounted everything to him. In the early days of the apocalypse, when the people with weak abilities had not developed anything, I gathered them into the Stray Dogs Them, in which Them 13 was the Them I commanded. He evoked the old Seth Turai and said, "The strategist of the whole Them was Big Ear Ji Gal mine. Before, you were loudmouthed, confidently boosting to me. Captain, I am jealous of you big guys." He showed his attitude. "Oh my god." AT starting again. Who gave him more to drink? Then the Them pleaded, "Please. Captain, do not nag me all the time." Manchi cheerfully laughed and hugged him. Then said, covering for Gamin, "This Big Ear needs a little alcohol to get his brain working." "Right. Big Ear." The boy quickly covered her mouth. "Sis, be quiet. Everyone always says I am cute because of you. And everyone looks down on me." The older sister pinched his cheek teasingly, saying in a lovely voice to praise him, "That is right. Our Big Ear is so manly." The boy resisted and firmly said, "No is." Suddenly, Guan Yeo stepped forward, tossing her hair and saying confidently, "Stop it. Big Ear said he hates IT. Or should I help with the rest of you?" The older sister disagreed, angrily standing up to retort, "Get lost. You pervert." He smiled awkwardly and retreated. Guan Yeo was afraid of her, thinking as she walked, "That girl is so difficult. I almost peed my pants." Turning around, she did not see Big Ear anymore. Constantly asking, "Where is he?" Someone pointed out his location to her. Hyuk guessed Gamin's thoughts. He understood his teammates. Once he drinks, he will climb to a high place and sit blankly in the wind, acting like he is in a movie. After searching for a while, she finally found Gamin. She anxiously shouted, "He is doing IT again. I won't tease you anymore. AT's too dangerous. Come down." Standing on high, Big Ear felt everything. He wanted to confide in Captain Du Hayek. He confessed, "If I were as big as Captain." Gamin was very immersed in expressing his emotions. He continued, "Then those bastards would not bully me anymore. Would they?" The boy looked into the distance, saying longingly, "If that were the case, then," immediately took the towel on the left, choked up and said, "If it were so." This eye. Jigalman's eyes sparkled as he looked up at the sky contentedly. He said, "And my sister probably would not have to be lost like that." Hayek was still listening, watching this warm boy, who shared his wish that he could face the alien Chintologers with physical strength like the captain. His eyes welled up with tears, sincerely saying, "Then I could definitely protect everyone." So Captain. He could not stand firm anymore. Falling down, but still stammering, "If only back then." Seeing this, Mangshi quickly ran Uvich, immediately reaching out to support him. She said, "If you can't handle AT, do not drink. You get drunk and climb to high places and ramble about the past." Gecko quietly went to find the captain to report the situation. "I have found their outpost. Guanyo and Sakwi are waiting there." Hayek drew his sword. He said, "Then AT's time to act. Give Big Ear to Quay, and wake up Old Man Manti." Everyone heard the order and set off together. Gamin weakly said, "Solve it quickly and have breakfast at the camp." Just entering the battlefield, he panicked, not expecting so many monsters to arrive. He shouted, asking everyone around to run away. But what was waiting for us there was... Trap was set up to destroy the human resistance force, a regiment of alien monsters and 2 high-level warrior bodies. They were too strong. Unfortunately, Gecko was stabbed straight in the chest. He sacrificed himself. Sakwi also did not make 8. He sacrificed himself. Only Guanyo tried to duel with them, determined to fight the alien monsters to the end. He went crazy, fighting the warrior body to the death, losing all reason, unable to control himself, about to cross the threshold. In this fierce battle, the captain and the old man were seriously injured and were no longer able to fight. Jigalman stood up powerfully. He directed the entire army. "As the vice-captain of them 13, I order Wado and Mangshi to withdraw from the battlefield immediately. Take the captain and the old man away." Mangshi shouted straight at the monster, "I wish I was the one who died." He did not listen to what she said. Enough, and was preparing to launch another attack. Gamin resisted him, begging her, "No, Sis, please. You know." She continued, "Only you can hold these guys back, even if I tease just a little, thanks to this shield." He smiled, turning to tell her to follow the plan, entrusting the captain to her. She and Wada carried the captain and the old man away from the battlefield, leaving only Big Ear to hold them off. Before leaving, she told him, "If you really die, I will kill you again." Got 80. The last rule of the Stray Dogs 13. When faced with a situation of annihilation, the remaining members must save the captain and prepare for the future. The captain must survive. Gamin fought bravely. He prayed for them and told himself that he had to complete the revenge of the stray dogs at any cost. "That was our oath. We will see each other later. Drink a glass of wine by the grave and laugh." "Okay." Switching the scene to reality, Hayek said, "That was the last time I saw Big Ear, but now I meet him in another timeline." The boy startled, "Are you also from Minsu?" Hayek recognized that the wannabe gangsters were Big Ear's enemies. He asked him, "Minsu? I do not know anyone. I saw the name on the chest plate was DG Min, so I accidentally called you Big Ear." He laughed. "Oh. Embarrassed. Sorry for calling you that, but you fell pretty hard earlier. Are you okay?" He looked down and saw the knife, then said, "Looks like you dropped something." He hurriedly grabbed AT back, asking him not to pay attention to AT. He ran away, telling Hayek, "Anyway, I did not look where I was going and bumped into you earlier. I am also sorry." Du Hayek sighed, thinking again, "That is right, This is another life, in another timeline, a future that never happened. He found this strange. Huh. And he was about to go on but realized. Wait. This guy, could it be? The scene switches to another neighborhood. There is a shouting somewhere. This madman. Little Ear had been hit hard in the face. They drove him to the wall. One of the guys said, Minsu, are you okay? He snapped and yelled at the boy. Damn, you dare to resist me. Minsu was infuriated and kicked the boy. He yelled, you cheap slave, dare to carry a weapon. His teammate standing next to him squeezed his shoulder, advised him to calm down, suggested he stop. Come on, man. You will kill him like that. Minsu ignored the words of his friend, swatting his hand away. Let go. You bastard. I can handle this. He grabbed the boy's hair. He gritted his teeth and said, Damn you, slave. Look closely and remember, see what happens if you oppose me. One of the guys in the Gita therapy did not want to witness this scene. Resentfully said, Hey old man, get out of the way. Do not want to see blood. He was punched in the face before he could even say a few words by Hayek, grabbed the collar of his shirt, kicked him away and demanded him to get the hell out of here. Du Hayek stood up, majestically went in front. He raised his voice and said, You sure are quick on your feet. As a Overly frustrated, the remaining friend launched himself forward and said, Who the hell are you? You son of a bitch. But before he could even touch him, Hayek did not hesitate and sent him flying far away. Minsu worriedly stood up to respond. Who the hell are you? You bastard. Hayek confidently pointed at himself, loudly introducing, I am just a passing ex-captain. Little Ear recognized with blurred eyes the person from earlier, the owner of the grocery store. Minsu was surprised, his eyes widened. Captain, could it be the Samjori gang? Hayek punched him hard in the face. Ati's the Dingo gang. You idiot, he said hesitantly. So that is the Yongsan side. Little Ear was confused. He recognized that he was Yongpal's big brother. Hayek yelled, Shut your damn mouth. You moron. The boy witnessed firsthand Hayek single-handedly taking down 3 guys. Admiringly praising, You are so strong. So cool. I want to follow your example. The screen lit up. Com reported full dive connecting to the game lobby. Lee Du Hayek was annoyed. Because of that guy he was scolded senseless by Gianni for being late. He was still annoyed, continuing to grumble. He is such a leech. That little ear kid followed him like a tail, crying and begging him, please take me as your disciple. Master. Hayek, who was on the phone with Gianni, accidentally recorded himself yelling at the boy, causing Gianni to misunderstand. Are you scolding me? Hayek worried. Because of that guy, I nearly had to make amends with Gianni near death. If that Irdiji Min is here too. He clenched his fist, continuing to say, then there is a high possibility that the other old soldiers are still there. Should I go look for them? He hesitated. Forget AT. I have not even finished my own things yet. He said to himself, I have not even worried about my own nose. What am I worrying about others for? I need to pay off my debts first. He ordered Com. Computer, open the chat window. Let us earn money. Com reported news that the chat window was opening. As soon as he entered the chat, everyone had already greeted the great Du Hayek, not willing to turn on Steam on time. He happily greeted everyone. Many messages discussing yesterday's stream were sent to Hayek. He said, yes, Gianni told me. I heard the twerking clip got to top 2 trending. One comment mentioned Anatole that caused him to be surprised. He watched Anatole's match Vicha carefully, said to the game community, wait a bit, I am curious too. First off, Emma is only around that level. What? I will watch his clip and then turn on Valhalla. Hayek felt a pang of conscience. Unexpectedly, the sender was Ramen. This is... He watched the Vaiku more carefully and recognized that was him. Many other players typed question marks. Confused. One comment left said this person just bought All Fight 3 days ago and revealed the playtime. Hayek confirmed. The playtime is around this time. Other gamers laughed at Anatole. Just playing on the 3rd day and dancing the Crimson Flame kick like that. Really speechless. Hayek excitedly bragged. It's true. Everyone admired the good guy who was only 17 hours in and took down Anatole. Hayek laughed. He said everyone saw it. Now let us all go into Valhalla. reading a comment from a friend saying they would hold their breath until Hayek played all fight. He was blank for a moment, wondering are not everyone coming to see Valhalla. The other gamers were entering the match, sending each other interesting challenge bets. Hayek could not believe his eyes. In total there was already 1,000,000 won. These challenges sure reek of money. He rejoiced, jumped up and down, twisting his hands. I suddenly feel like playing all fight a lot. He was ready to enter all fight immediately. In the evening, many comments predicted he was beyond. He was the one that smashed Anatole's head. He bluntly replied, "It's not me." He angrily slammed his hand on the table. I said, "It's not me." He was determined to refuse. If it was me for Rio, then I would have pulled you guys UVA already. Why would I fake it? Beyond continued, "See, I told you. It is not me for Rio." He even smirked. That person named M is only around that level. I instead find that it's him that is the M. Only around that level. Other gamers agreed with him. Even Anatole was slapped. He explained further he just returned to all fight after 1 year. Probably has not played in a while, so his hands are a bit stiff. Beyond jumped into the game machine. Confidently said, "I will show you guys then. I am even better than him. Only around that level." The computer immediately searched for an all-fight match. The computer matched Hayek with Beyond. Beyond confidently said, "A tiger is a tiger. Alright, today I will show Hayek what hell is. Connect to Ultimate Fighter Eft." From the start of the match, Hayek had already shown that he was very impressive. Beyond also did not want to lose. The original Hoken legend, Beyond, had appeared. He arrogantly pointed at Hayek. "You are the M. Only around that level. That has been hot these days, right?" Hayek vaguely recognized that he seemed to be a famous person. The chat was discussing lively about the strength being nearly equal to Anatole. Anatole once pushed Hoken to Tier 1, and Beyond has won many first prizes when using Hoken, and is called the successor of Hoken. Both people entered the match. They looked at each other with determined eyes. The match started. Watching this live really is the peak of my life. Beyond thought right as he predicted. He opened with an all-O attack. Hayek used new moves, not following the old pattern, but fought instinctively. He determined that the attack from Hayek would mix everything. He was afraid, comparing AT to seeing himself when he was still stiff-handed. Beyond responded to the attacks, provoking Hayek, attacking so ferociously. The entire stream room was bursting with laughter, and they attentively followed this dramatic game. Beyond said to himself, "I am being forced back gradually. Then I have no choice but to use my ultimate skill that I plan to use to meet Anatole." Hayek focused on breaking the opponent's move. Looking straight at him, the flames burst. The ultimate techniques that were used were the bullet reflection skill and crimson flame destruction. The gaming community was predicting preparing a Kaimobu with the crimson flame kick. The match was very excited and intense. Hayek launched himself of the flame. Everyone guessed seems like he is using the crimson flame kick's reverse command. Using the ultimate skill, strength exploded more than ever. The crimson flame wound was launched, attacking Lidu Hayek directly. Beyond prepares to unleash a finishing move. Raging flames rise. Ultimate technique. Sai the Flame Spear. Beyond launches a powerful strike towards Hayek. Beyond's strike immediately causes everything to explode in the air, destroying even the largest buildings. The force of the blast causes Beyond to sink several layers into the ground. The onlookers got a buzz. He just combined the Sai the Flame Mad Kick's momentum with the Fierce Moon Fist. He even micro-controlled the Fierce Moon Kick to create a vortex to enhance the destructive power. Beyond stumbles and kneels on the rubble. The ability to control the body is insane, flexibly interweaving between the enhanced and non-enhanced states. Can this even be done? Beyond tremblingly embraces his wound. Because of the recoil of this move, I can only use AT once per match at most. Thinking that he had destroyed Hayek, Beyond stands up complacently. Anyway, this match is a wee. Not noticing Hayek has quietly appeared from above with a similar move. The crowd anxiously warns him. Beyond turns around startled. Above, Hayek suddenly launches a strike that Beyond barely manages to dodge. Beyond looks at Hayek incredulously. "Without a scratch, you can still stand. How is that possible?" Hayek replies, "Thanks to you. I learned something great. Enhance and do not enhance. Then turn the recoil into a crimson flame wave." Beyond points at Hayek with wide eyes. "No way. That is a move I spent months practicing. Are you telling me you just copied IT after seeing IT once?" Hayek is excited with the new move. "Actually, AT's not that difficult. I nullified your spear move with the crimson flame wave." then used the recoil from the fierce moon kick to teleport. Beyond is more and more frozen with Hayek's method of nullification. No. Say something that makes a bit of sense. Beyond raises his wound while retorted. What about the explosion when the flames burst? Oh. You can't ignore that damage. Right. Every time you detonate the crimson flame, the recoil will tear apart the affected area. You know that. Hayek had no injuries from the beginning to the end, making Beyond confused. But why do not you have a scratch on you? What kind of trick are you playing? Hayek innocently demonstrates the action of retracting his hand as if nothing had happened. You just need to retract your hand before the explosion happens. Like this. At this time, Beyond stood there like a fool. What a ridiculous trick. The audience were again laughing their heads off, sharing a peak-winning strategy. Retract your hand before getting hit. Easy peasy. Hayek covered his mouth, secretly laughing. Thinking back, we used to challenge each other to stick our hands into the mouths of giant crocodile monsters, and lost quite a few fingers because of that game. He even did not forget to punch randomly into the air to provoke the opponent. Anyway. Like this. Retract your hand before the damage can take effect. Got AT. The audience was extremely excited with Hayek's attitude. This fight gradually made Hayek feel more interested. Let us do another match. Beyond still acted tough even though he was just beaten to a pulp. Okay. Let us see how good you are. Your new move really is. Without finishing the sentence, Hayek rushed towards Beyond with flames wrapped around his body like a tornado. Beyond immediately recognized AT and shouted in horror. That is my Crimson Flame Rush. Quickly pulling himself together, Beyond also predicted the next move would be the spear. The spear is a straight line attack. I will dodge AT before Ada touches me. Beyond was ready to defend, but different from his imagination. AT was not a spear but just a normal kick. Hayek powerfully launched the godly kick towards the opponent. Beyond blocked with his hand while thinking of a way to deal with IT. Do not say AT is the Scythe the Flame Mad kick. If I can block one hit from the Scythe the Flame Mad kick, I will have a chance to counterattack. Hayek swung his leg to finish I. The flames followed the movement of his leg and swirled the opponent away. Scythe the Flame Whirlwind kick. Beyond's eyes rolled back and he was kicked away. He resentfully yelled, "What kind of twisted game is this?" The system recorded M. So that is how AT is winning. Beyond was kicked and fell to the ground. The audience exclaimed after seeing this scene, "Oh my god! When I grow up I want to be like the great Du Hayek. I can't believe Yon Kun was defeated so perfectly." Beyond glared at Hayek angrily. He was unwilling and wanted to fight Hayek again, causing the onlookers to just laugh. Hayek happily agreed. I am also happy to play this match. After speaking, he gathered his power and launched a move, just waiting to touch. The system continued to record Hayek winning again. 5 consecutive wins made Hayek tired and breathless while Beyond became more and more miserable lying on the ground. Each of Hayek's moves seemed to make Beyond's soul leave his body, and the audience could only secretly pity Beyond's fate. The battle ended. Hayek approached wanting to help Beyond, who was sitting on the ground. That triple jump into the Black Flame Barrage was so cool. I learned a lot. Now get up. Beyond also had to give up. Well, AT's good if you learned something. Hayek also secretly praised Beyond's techniques. This time, netizens mentioned the comments of defeating the female swordsman and Anatole. Hayek scoffed. Actually, I am just trying to praise them sincerely, not mocking them. What can I do? The audience requested AAD. Hayek asked the opponent's identity. After confirming the opponent was Beyond, he pointed directly at the opponent. Hayek praised Beyond. You are talented. Hayek left a farewell and then disappeared into the void, causing the opponent to be angry while the viewers had a good laugh. After that, Hayek returned to the waiting interface. The excited viewers urged him to join a new match. Hayek was excited with the constantly increasing number of viewers. The current viewers were 12,048. But if the viewers increase, why does not the mission reward increase? Is AT a bug? Hayek wondered, resting his chin on his hand. Seeing this, netizens immediately understood and donated more money, causing Hayek to be dazzled. Honestly, everyone really likes this straightforwardness. To not disappoint his fans, Hayek immediately entered the interface to continue fighting. Hayek launched a strike to the chest to finish the opponent, continuing to maintain his winning streak. Next was a hook punch to the opponent's face. Next he threw the opponent like throwing a toy. Finally another knockout blow. Everything around was like a pile of rubble. The system recorded countless wins for Hayek. He won another victory. Hayek continued to walk back and forth searching for a combat opponent but did not see anyone. Netizens joked that he had already wiped them all, and the person who bet against him had turned off the stream with the reason that his mom called him to eat. Hayek decided to stop fighting since he could not find anyone. Unexpectedly, suddenly a light appeared behind him signaling a new match had been found. A person appeared before Hayek's eyes. This person had actively arranged a match on the server to find the person who defeated Anatole. Hayek's opponent this time was the character Wolfgang controlled by Tsuki. Hayek recognized that he was Japanese. The viewers got a feast. Suddenly Ata turned into a battle between Korea and Japan. At this moment, a user donated 1001 to the match. While introducing a little about this character, Tsuki is a famous fighting gamer from Japan. He has won 2 more world championships to prove himself as one of the top players in Asia. 1001 punch. That is way too long. Hayek angrily punched away that long comment. Tsuki seemed very excited while Hayek did not understand what he was babbling about, so he decided to turn on the translation function. Tsuki said very confidently, "You are the one who defeated Anatole, right? I will be the first person to defeat this mysterious Korean expert." Tsuki provoked Hayek to make the first move, while netizens were very much looking forward to this scene. Suddenly a viewer suggested Hayek to change the character, causing him to want to try AT. Others also started to suggest some characters for him. Finally, Hayek pointed at the opponent and decided to choose the exact same character as him. The system recorded a change in interface. Hayek appeared with the Wolfgang interface, but was even more dashing than the opponent. On the other side of the screen, viewers were also very curious about what the battle between 2 experts would be like. The system asked Hayek, "Have you played Wolfgang before?" He smiled and said, "No, but I will get used to AT while fighting." Tsuki sighed and then said, "You really chose Wolfgang to fight me. Take a look at this. Have you heard of something called gun kata?" Gun kata. Gun. A fictional martial art using firearms. Dim. The kind that can make bullets fly in trajectories like in the Matrix. Tsuki started to lecture Hayek. Most people choose Wolfgang just because he uses guns. But his guns are weak. Easily blocked. He continued to ramble. Even if he gets hit a few times, he does not lose much health. That is why gamers think Wolfgang is a garbage character. Tsuki's voice gradually became lower. But that is just because they misjudged. Wolfgang was not designed to shoot from a distance. He smiled cunningly, adding, "He was born to fight close range with gun kata, and the one who realized that faster than anyone else is me, Tsuki." He tried his best to persuade Hayek. "I am the one who dominated the world championships with Wolfgang. So, if you do not want to be crushed, then I advise you to change your character right now." But Hayek only smiled and replied, "Fine. Let us try AT." The system panel showed the word ready. Tsuki was ready. His arrogant voice rang, "Oh, if you are so stubborn, then I will show you the difference in strength between us." A word fight appeared. Immediately, Hayek fired bullets at Tsuki, not forgetting to say, "Whatever you want." Tsuki also fired his gun continuously. He laughed contemptuously. "Your aim is too bad." Hayek gritted his teeth and cursed. "That thing does not cause much damage. An 80 does not create any area control. Damn me. These things do not even look like Ryu bullets." Tsuki quickly dodged each bullet. He scornfully said, "I can dodge this trash with my eyes closed. AT's time to show you the Ryu way to play Wolfgang." Tsuki rushed towards Hayek, saying loudly, "I am coming." He made a strike towards Hayek. Tsuki's contemptuous voice rang again. First lesson. Wolfgang's gun. The two pointed their guns at each other and pulled the trigger. But Tsuki still kept talking. "You have to get close to deal Ryu damage." Suddenly he seemed to see something and showed extreme confusion. Hayek used his teeth to block the bullet, causing Tsuki to be shocked and shout, "You blocked all of them." Hayek did not answer. He just spat out the bullet before Tsuki's astonished voice. "He blocked it at such a close distance." Tsuki began to be wary. He said, "Tech, your reflexes must be top tier. Better than I thought. But the Ryu battle is just beginning." Tsuki continued the new attack. His voice still rang non-stop. Tsuki's second lesson. Gun kata. Tsuki used his elbow to hit Hayek, but he blocked that dangerous blow from Tsuki. In that carelessness, Tsuki seized the opportunity to point the gun at Hayek's stomach. He quickly pulled the trigger, but fortunately, Hayek dodged in the nick of time. Tsuki still did not give up and shot again, but thanks to his quick reflexes, Hayek escaped death again. This time Tsuki seemed to lose his composure. He cursed, "Damn you." At this time the system appeared. Chicken No Bones donated 200,000 won. Win with an anicaps bow to complete the mission. Hayek smiled confidently. He said. All right. Hayek skillfully dodged Suki's bullets. He landed safely on the ground. Hayek hid behind the car. He sighed and said to himself, Phew. Let us take a break. The system showed the line. Are you sure you have time for that? Hayek startled and exclaimed. Huh. The system continued to remind. Something big is about to happen. Ha. The system continued to show the line. Continuous firing not only controls the area, AD also prepares for the next move, Wolfgang's ultimate technique. At this time Suki was firing madly. The system still laughed. Leisurely said, the electric gun is about to fire. Hayek kicked the car hard. He cursed loudly. Damn A. Suki was still firing like rain. He gritted his teeth as if he was going crazy. Die. Each terrifying trigger squeeze aimed at Hayek. A lightning bolt split a car in half. But Hayek quickly skimmed behind Suki. He gritted his teeth and cursed as if he was unwilling. Damn A. The trajectory was deviated because of the car. It seemed that a bullet hit somewhere on Suki. He grabbed his ear, gritted his teeth and cursed. My ear. While Suki was negligent, Hayek hit him in the face again. Suki fell down just like that. He was about to get up but Hayek's gun was pointed straight at his head. Hayek pulled the trigger, not forgetting to say thank you. Thanks for the lesson. The sound of the gun rang out, followed by Tsuki's unwilling scream. Damn A. The system showed. Win. Chien followed the entire match. She could not hide her joy and cheered. Woo. Look at this. Chien excitedly said. Oh my god. Clearly does not have 100% familiarity with Wolfgang, but he still performs a gun kata variation using the very mobilization move that Suki used in previous matches. She kept waving her arms and mumbling. Partly AT's true that AT's reacting immediately, but mostly AT's because Hayek has learned AT beforehand and blocked the preemptive strike. The system again showed the line. Hayek charms even the female swordsman who used to scold him. He really is an expert. Chien quickly said. That was a long time ago. Come on. Let us keep watching. The next day, the system displayed a notification. Hayek Ham is suspected of not being human because his playstyle and stream off time are too extraordinary, causing fans to crave madly. Hayek's voice rang out, Hey. Seriously. That is why I reopened the stream. Okay. He thought to himself. That reaction. Maybe I should continue. But after defeating most of the challengers and experts, his face became more tense. He thought to himself, even fighting against former professional players is no longer interesting. The number of viewers started to stagnate, and the excitement of Ultifight. Hayek stared intently at the screen. Thoughts flooded back like a waterfall in his mind. That scene was the peak. Now everything is starting to become similar. A dying game can only wither away. He clenched his fist. Determined. Maybe it's time for me to try something else. Iron First might be different. Right. His voice gradually became thoughtful. Thinking about AT now, Blackhawk said Evo is coming up. Thoughts continued to flood back. There is a special bracket for low-ranking streamers like me to participate in Evo. Evo. The Olympics of fighting games, including Iron Fist and other games. Hayek started typing. He thought to himself, First, I have to check the participation conditions. Let me check the stream time and ranking on Twerk. The computer screen showed the news. Hayek unexpectedly exclaimed, Huh. What? He said to himself, Do not tell me. This kid is Buna. He stunned. The one who was by my side until the end of my previous life. The Destroyer Dragon Emperor. Buna. The first time I met one of the 9 heroes. The last resistance against humanity. Before the regression. In the Hall of Heroes. Kubuna crossed his arms and said, So you are the one called Hayek. The Hall of Heroes. A magical construct created by the Great Mage to unify the minds of the 9 heroes in a virtual space. Kubuna examined Hayek. He looked down on him. This sickly kid defeated the TM, the strongest of the last candidates. I am really worried about the future of the resistance. Kubuna arrogantly said. Let me see if you are really worth the praise or not. Hayek was still silent. He thought to himself, that loudmouth is definitely the battle maniac Kavina. Gentao said, Ku, let me handle him. I will start by tearing off one of his legs. Before those arrogant words, Hayek only guessed. The madman. Chen Tao. Hayek said sternly, No, I will rip your genitals off first. Sivan Eliza covered her mouth and giggled. She said, Sorry. Chento practiced eunuch martial arts, so he, was castrated. That is why he keeps rebelling, and people call him the madman. Chento broke down when this embarrassing thing was revealed. He yelled, "You bitch, did you help turn me into a eunuch? Why do you laugh like crazy every time someone mentions AA?" Marcus quickly calmed him down. "Calm down. The Sin said she can cure AT, but when she said your martial arts make AT impossible, you cried like a baby, so now she is just teasing you for fun." Marcus' next words made Chentao's spirit collapse. "Just pretend A does not exist. I mean, AT's gone already. Right? So just accept AA and live the best you can." Marcus smiled friendly. He raised his hand to cheer Chentao. "Go Chentao." Chentao could only have tearful eyes. Chentao could not hold back. He swung a blow at Marcus, not forgetting to curse. "Marcus, you bastard. Son of a bitch." Marcus ran away, not forgetting to tease. Angering the madman is the best. Suddenly Elise appeared next to Haya. She said, "Crazy. Right? Before you showed up, he was known as the greatest genius of humanity, the sword sin Marcus." Alyssa smilingly introduced, "This is the Hall of Heroes, where the souls of former heroes reside. Welcome to the Sanctuary of Heroic Resistance." Lee Du-hyuk glanced at the outstretched hand and said nothing. He quickly turned his face away and said, "Even so, this atmosphere is too chaotic for a resistance meeting." The pink-haired girl withdrew her hand, her face embarrassed. "That is because everyone is stressed." Hayek glared at her and said sharply, "Stressed? The heroes standing at the top of the hunter world. The ones who are supposed to save the world." The girl clenched her weapon and replied, "The resistance will save this world. The heroes standing at the top of the hunter world. But first," she smiled and said, "But we are just humans too." Hayek looked at her in shock. She looked at the scene of everyone playing and said, "Carrying the future of all of humanity on our shoulders. Maybe this is just our way," she said proudly, "to forget that burden even for a moment, if you pass this test and become one of us." She turned to look at Hayek and said, "You will understand the weight of the name resistance." Hayek bluntly replied, kind of burden born from fear. He stood tall and declared, "I Lee Du-hyuk, the one who is known as the god of war, is the first one to slay the ruling species will bear all of AT for you guys, so do not complain." Buna's face was interested and replied, "Let us start the test. I like that kind of spirit." Unexpectedly he grew wings like transforming into a majestic monster. Killing intent rose to the sky and shouted, "Let us see if you can do what you said." Hayek said loudly, "Is that Kabuna's ultimate technique, dragon transformation?" He gritted his teeth thinking, "Another transcendent? If so, then first," the notification panel appeared. The person named Awoyal donated 1,000,000 won with the message, "Awaken Warrior." Hayek looked at the notification panel in surprise and said, "Huh." When he saw the name of his disciple Lee Du-hyuk donated 1,000 won. Hayek currently panicked and could not stand firm and shouted, "Oh no." Viewers constantly teased him. Hayek's whole body was upside down, standing upright, and shouted, "Oh no. I just fell into a bit of an old memory." The viewers enjoyed teasing. He returned to his seat looking at the computer, his face confused, and said, "Sorry. I just had to think about something." Looking at the news in front of the screen, he thought to himself, "Anyway, I need to confirm if this is really the Kabuno I know." He then asked, "By the way, who is this guy, an Iron First expert?" Hayek pointed at the screen. People discussed, "That crazy guy named Kubuna." After debuting, he dominated the entire Ultifight scene. He even played with Anatole in the semi-finals of the previous tournament. Hayek satisfiedly thought, "If I tease the Kabuno I know, then he is a natural hunter, so there is no way he would play a game like Iron First badly." Hayek speculated, "Of course the Kabuno I know and the current Kabuno exist in different timelines, so they are not completely the same person." Hayek clenched his fist with determination, thinking, "But one truth remains unchanged. Whether AT was then or now, even in this life, Kabuna was the one who persuaded me to borrow all the maximum amounts to prepare for the apocalypse before my regression." Recalling the thought, the conversation between Kabuna and Hayek, Hayek's face swelled with veins. His hand clenched his fist angrily, said, "Right now in this life, he is the reason why I am drowning in debt. He has the exact same face as that bastard Kabuna in my previous life." His face was excited with pouting thought, "Because of the ancestor's sin of the previous life Kabuna, now I am asking you this life's Kabuna." He yelled, "So wait there. Kabuna." There were comments cursing that Valhalla was a garbage game, Only Ultifight was fun. Hayek looked at the screen and quickly replied, "Oh my god, I completely forgot about Valhalla. There is a war breaking on the forum between Ultifight and Valhalla fans." Hayek hesitantly raised his hand and said, "I need to choose a game." He thought to himself, "With Ultifight I can quickly reach rank 1, but once I get on the scene, viewers will start to lose interest." Hayek waved his hand thinking, "But if I switch straight to Iron First, which has a common gate-up of viewers with Ultifight, then I can lead those viewers Zuva to Iron First and keep them watching." Hayek worriedly clenched his hand in hesitation thinking, "However, I can't give up Valhalla either. AT's been stirring recently and the amount of viewers, not to mention the money earned from AT, can't be ignored." Hayek scratched his head, his voice miserable, and said, "AT's so annoying. Ultifight or Valhalla?" He suddenly became silent. He suddenly stood up, stomped on the table and shouted, "I have decided." Hayek said loudly, "If I have to choose one of the two games, then that game will be," he said. "Let me eat first and then I will say," causing everyone to be surprised. Lidu Hayek was live streaming. He was riding a horse, his face smiling, and said, "Today I am starting the stream earlier than usual." Everyone was surprised to see him streaming. With a confident face, he said, "Hello everyone, I am planning to do Valhalla for part 1 and Ultifight for part 2 from now on. In part 2 today, I am going to reach rank 1 in Ultifight." Viewers were excited to see him play 2 games at the same time. Hayek looked at the view count, which was 4,127. He smirked and thought, "The view count is still increasing. AT's all money. If I only chose one game, then I would have missed on all this money." Hayek pulled the reins of the horse. Happily said, "All right, I have progressed a bit. I have defeated Seowolf and even received a side quest. Let us check a TO. Main quest, the rightful heir to the kingdom. The Senfatory talks about after a large-scale invasion by the Vikings, King Seowolf I of Mercia was forced to abdicate. Count Leifric, who is second in line to the throne, is now seeking to become the next king. To prevent the collapse of Mercia, the rightful heir must ascend to the throne, otherwise Mercia may once again become a vassal of Wessex." Hayek smirked looking at the notification. The viewers knew that this was a battle for the succession. Everyone messaged, "The mission seems difficult, but if Itai's done, the spoils are very lucrative." Hayek waved his hand in response. "How can I kill someone who is begging for my help?" Standing in front of the magnificent castle, he said loudly, "Anyway, that place UV, there must be the castle of Count Leifric. Now let us rush in and complete the mission." Riding a horse with one hand, holding an axe in the other, he said confidently, "Exactly. So I will see uproot them at the root before he can send them." The audience was amused by his way of doing things. The bulletin board showed the name Twin Axe Swordsman donating 1001 with the message, "Told you this guy's way of thinking is different from ordinary people." He rushed Zuvi quickly. The 2 soldiers were dumbfounded. They vigilantly signaled. One pointed a spear forward and said, "Stop." Before they could do anything, they were quickly dealt with by Haya. The alert soldiers shouted loudly, "An attacker. Stop him." He rushed forward and cleared each person neatly. One by one, they were easily defeated by Hayek. Everyone watched with great interest. Soldiers stood blocking the way. He thought to himself, "Whirlwind Fury. Is today the day for this move?" Hayek jumped up and unleashed a blow, shouting loudly, "There are also a lot of people here to watch Ultifight, not Whirlwind Fury." He kicked his foot towards the soldier. He was hit and rolled around screaming miserably. Hayek's mouth curved up and said, "But this time AT's Hoken met." The audience was surprised to see fire blazing from Hayek's feet. Unexpectedly, AT was roaring flames. He used his foot to kick the soldier far away with the flames spreading. The terrified soldiers quickly took up their shields and shouted, "Block with the shields. Charge." Hayek turned and launched a kick. The flames flared up fiercely. AT was blazing storm, immediately wiping out all the soldiers. He stood in front of the door. Everyone was surprised to see him use roaring flames and blazing storm. Hayek sighed in relief while the audience compared him to Hoken. Hayek stepped up the stairs and said, "Curious, huh? Everyone wants to see what happens next." His hand touched the door and said, "That thing just now." "Just now? Huh." Hayek replied gleefully, "If you want to know." His cunning smile said, "Then you have to pay up." The audience showed a mocking attitude. Everyone cursed Hayek. But he, with a satisfied expression and a mountain of money, said happily, Oh my god. It is so sweet. How sweet. Putting both hands on the door, he said. Anyway, what I did just now, I used the Bidix techniques of roaring flames and blazing storm and ultifight. His face serious. He continued, I knocked down the surrounding coal stoves to create the fire. Then I imitated roaring flames with that fire. A group of strong soldiers stood waiting. He continued, and while in the middle of the sea of fire, I used all my martial arts to defeat them. The soldiers shouted loudly, we must stop him from approaching the count. The knights charge. Hayek prepared to fight, ready to meet the challenge. Replying, so what is next? Suddenly cracks appeared on the floor. The soldiers rushed up to attack him like moths flying into a flame. Hayek quickly moved, dodging and taking down each one. Saying, kick. He kicked his foot. The audience praised him endlessly. The brown-haired man with a worried expression spoke up, cursing, how dare that bastard set foot in this place? You filthy barbarian. Retreat immediately. Facing him, he said seriously, let us end this match with Wolfgang's gun. The audience wondered if Valhalla had guns. Hayek, axe in hand, grinned. Atai exists in my heart, a gun in the shape of an axe. Hayek threw the axe, finishing off the man. He said, the source of assassination has been eliminated. Everyone exclaimed. Someone was watching Hayek's actions through the screen. That person was Anatole, with a confused expression. Stammering, oh my god, he really is a monster. AIT seemed like he had just finished training and continued. The Sai the Flame and Gale kick Kamembi that he launched in Ultifight. I thought I had caught up with him. Anatole worriedly glanced at the screen, but he also unleashed Ultifight level moves in Valhalla. Should not I have posted that announcement? The announcement about the Golden Road, a new Ultifight player who climbed to rank 1 in just 25 hours. He thought he would end everything and scheduled a livestream for 8 p.m. tonight. Anatole panicked, and the audience's reaction to this. Unexpectedly, the audience enthusiastically cheered for him. Anatole gritted his teeth and knelt down. Damn me, now they are so fired up that I can't retreat anymore. He knelt down helplessly, thinking, what should I do? I am done for. Switching to Ultifight, Hayek just logged in. Hayek went directly from Valhalla to Ultifight. He thought to himself, no doubt, Ultifight is really booming. He turned and asked, Calm, how far am I from rank 1 in Ultifight? Calm replied, checking the rankings. Calm announced, currently you are rank 5, the person in rank 1 is Anatole. Hayek put his hands together, his face showing excitement, and he also has the title of top of the rankings, the ultimate one. No way I will let that happen. He pointed happily and said, all right, let us go straight to the top. Calm starts searching for a match. A person with the name Harang appeared. Ranked 4th, nickname female swordsman. The audience was surprised to see her. She said loudly, I have been working hard for this match. Face me, you god who killed my parents. The audience praised her role playing, while Hayek froze. Thinking, she is really starting to scare me a bit. Harang said confidently, after so much effort I have completed the analysis of your Hoken. So this time you better be ready. He chuckled and pointed. Then I have prepared something based on your character. Sword Princess. You do not mind if I change tactics and use that instead? Do you? The audience wondered. Hayek's face darkened sinisterly, saying, I tease. Hayek started to show off, making Harang and the audience astonished. She shouted, that is crazy. Hayek stood tall, sword in hand. The audience was surprised that AT was sword dancer Césaire, the male version of Harang. She gritted her teeth and said, I can't believe AT. You dare to choose that sword. Then I will show you how cunning a sword can be. Starting the fight, Harang each move, blossomed sword flowers. As soon as she finished, she was beaten badly, while Hayek said triumphantly, looks like this is your stopping point. Sword Princess. Next match. Kam spoke up. Match completed. Summoning the next opponent. Suddenly a doomed man appeared. Panicking. No, the next person. He was despised by everyone. Became the next punching bag, but is very scared. Hayek greeted friendly. Long time no see Bayan. Bayan's face darkened and said, damn There is no choice anymore, but I have prepared everything. He pulled out his weapon and shouted, "This time I will face you with my favorite general." Just a moment later, the system announced Caesar 5 consecutive wins. Ayun was tightly wrapped in chains, his whole body trembling. Hayek sighed and said, "Phew. But you have grown up a bit." The audience also predicted the result. After fighting, Hayek said, "So now I am ranked second. Alright, let us queue up for the next match. It would be great if I could pair up with Anatole." Kam immediately replied. Match found. Next opponent found. Anatole appeared in golden armor. The audience cheered excitedly. Everyone thought Anatole would be beaten to a pulp. He said in confusion, "Oh, come on. I have seriously prepared for this match." Hayek immediately said, "Thank God. I have been waiting. Anatole, I finally get to face you again." Anatole forced a smile and replied, "I have been waiting for you too." Lidu Hayek. He thought to himself, "Damn, I am still not mentally prepared." Anatole frowned, thinking, just standing in front of him makes my spine tingle. Excitement, fear all come at the same time. Can I really defeat this guy with my current skills? Hayek said. Nice armor. Anatole forced a smile. This one, I designed AT myself. He continued, "You will get a sit team design if you win the championship." Anatole thought to himself, "Oh right, how many skins do I have?" Anatole looked at the weapon and thought again, "At least about a dozen sets. I have 3 for Lancer alone." In other words, the number of skins equals the number of world bosses. Anatole looked and thought again, and I doubted myself that I could win against him. Damn it, what the hell am I doing? Anatole held his spear and stood tall. The current number of viewers is 33,452. The audience cheered. Anatole thought triumphantly, "Yes, a tease because of people like them." Hayek smiled and asked, "You know, do not you? If I defeat you, I will become number 1 in Ultifight." Anatole attacked first, shouting loudly, "That is not easy, because the road to rank 1 has been blocked by me." Hayek replied, "You think something like this can?" The two exchanged moves. Hayek looked in surprise. Anatole successfully knocked Hayek away. Hayek landed safely with a grimace. Anatole rushed Yuvu with many barrages attacking Hayek. He started to clone and said, "Do not worry." Hayek quickly dodged, saying seriously, "That move is exactly like the sword flowers and phantom swords of the female swordsman." He thought to himself, no matter how wild the storm, AT cannot break a hard island in an instant. The sword was surrounded by fire. Hayek shouted, "I will show you the subtle power of the greatsword, the one that crushes all illusions." He thought, this is a move that once wiped out a legion of alien monsters with just one strike. Eyes full of murderous intent and the whole body bursting into flames. Anatole was surrounded by many swords. Anatole witnessed this scene. His face turned pale, stammering, "Impossible." The slash struck down, tearing everything around. The audience screamed at that attack. Everything has been destroyed now. Hayek sighed, while the audience thought this was a work of art created by him. Too amazing. Just after fighting, Hayek said, "I imitated Wolfgang's finishing move with a sword, making the online community very impressed." Then he looked at the remaining power, sighing this match was quite fun. Anatole angrily said he would counterattack, before the jeers of the people watching the match. But Hayek spoke up and told everyone to stop teasing him, because under his pressure he did not dare to counterattack. He said Anatole could still struggle, so he was considered to have some talent, making him freeze when he heard these words. The online community laughed at him even more when Hayek said he was struggling. Hayek was still happy, saying he did not mean to comfort him with a backhanded compliment. The arena was restored again. He had also prepared mentally for the next round. More people donated and said Anatole wanted to be Hayek's punching bag, making him very angry and wanting to fight back. And Anatole used a teleport skill to go somewhere. He had landed in a place with a lot of trees. He was lying there muttering to himself, cursing the game. The online community teased about Anatole's ranking. When Ata dropped from 1st to 8th, he sat up, still trying to argue that he also launched 3 moves. Anatole was dazed when he heard the hot news that Lidu Hayek said he would start Iron first and win the world's top 100. Someone asked Anatole how far he thought Hayek would go, making him also think deeply. Then his face darkened and he answered himself, if the question was asked yesterday, I would answer, he does well beyond measure. But still doubtful, because Hayek can defeat him because Iron First is full of monsters. Anatole also associated the typical opponent Quavna, also had many international arena achievements. But now to answer the question just now, the pressure he felt at that time. As long as I is Li Du Hai, every match is impossible, even Iron First. Anatole placed his trust that someone would dominate the opponents, and that is how far Hayek will go alone. On the other side, Hayek suddenly appeared today to play Valhalla, surprising the viewers as well. Then he talked about playing part 2 depending on the situation. Otherwise he would quit. A comment asked about that game, because he won first place in Ulta Fight. So the next game is... Hayek talked about the latest fighting game and he would try it. He told the virtual assistant about setting a nickname in Iron First, taking the usual nickname. Hemph, is that all you have got? But he was shocked when he received the news that there were 1,173 other people using that name. The online community also sighed AT was so many. That being the case, Hayek had to bear AT, letting the assistant connect to the game. Assistant Com is connecting to Iron First. Hayek has completed with the game, with a very beautiful interface. With the name Hemph, is that all you have got? He has arrived with the support of fans. The game system has given him a choice of one of 3 game modes, which are Sifa Turai, online and a play. Hayek was very surprised to have a Secha Turai met that Ultifight did not have, making everyone ask him if he wanted to choose that met. But he was still wondering about the route, and the explanations of the online community about this met are hard to surpass. Hearing that he chose online met like the Ultifight ranked match. Online met has been selected. The assistant is looking for an opponent for Hayek. A source of power rushed down in front of him. On the forum everyone has received the explosive news that Hayek has joined Iron First, and praised him heartily. Switching scenes to a Dung man watching a piece, seeing everyone overreacting when hearing this news. But he was also amazed, when in just a few matches Hayek has stirred up games like that. Introducing Akuma, a professional gamer and a member of the Vestem. Akuma startled when Yan came to pat his shoulder to reassure him. Then he told Yan that even if you play well, you need time to get used to AT, because from Ultifit to Iron First, the game adjustments are different and the micro is different. But he did not understand why everyone loved this Hayek. Yan also asked Akuma if he was skeptical. Then he also told Akuma that at first he also thought that person was. Before he finished speaking, Yan pushed him and shouted, "Need to meet Hayek once and need to practice harder." He walked away in Akuma's confusion and said, "I will go into full drive first. I will go in when he is ready." But Akuma was still deep in thought. Not accepting. Hayek is better than me or Anatole. Yund. In his heart he wanted Hayek to realize painfully, to prove that Iron First is a completely different playing field. On the other side a battle is taking place, and someone's sword has been broken in half. With the nickname Immortal, Hayek has firmly grasped victory in his hands with 18 wins and no losses in everyone's congratulations. Because AT was too easy to win, he also asked everyone if they were not bored, but the online community's response was the opposite. He was expecting to meet a worthy opponent. Then he was matched with another match. Demon King Amuka has been summoned with very impressive information as well. The online community also praised and marveled at the godlike winning rate. Seeing that Hayek also wondered about the level between Destroyer and Divine. Everyone also doubted that with such a winning rate they had never heard of Amuka and even suspected that he was using a clone account. Very quickly they realized that Amuka is Akuma's reverse account. He appeared to make waves with this character, and want to assign Hayek to lose to Akuma's sub-account, along with the title of the first person to defeat Hemph that Yond has not been able to do. Then Akuma has prepared and said start fighting. But Hayek was still wondering about the Thunder God style, and he was also explained by the online community that AT's difficult but has a wide range of applications. Someone asked him about fighting one game with the Demon King, and he agreed right away. Hayek confidently pointed at Amuka and said, "So in order to absorb his technique, I should also..." The nickname has been changed to Hemph. Is that all you have got? Then the transformation into the Demon King and Hayek's Thunder God style made everyone satisfied. Demon King Amuka was feeling angry when he felt him mocking him. But Hayek happily replied, "I did not mean that," and admitted that he needed to learn more from him, and even recognized Akuma as his teacher. He really went crazy into battle mutt when Hayek mocked him, while his expression was very mocking, running for Akuma to chase him. Hayek was running and laughing loudly provocatively. "You caught me. You are really perceptive," making the online community laugh when he teased the Demon King like that. While running he stopped and said his strategy, making his opponent lose guard, and then Hayek turned around and threw a punch. Demon King Amuka and the online community finally realized his plan. The two rushed into battle with equal strength. Hayek also gave praise when he saw Amuka reacting quickly. He kicked his foot, while the Demon King was attacking from behind. Everyone also reminded Hayek to be careful. Amuka was using the Demon King's power to rush towards Lidu Hayek. A lightning bolt struck Hayek directly. He was hit by Amuka's Thunder Fist, in the astonishment of the audience watching the match. Thanks to being able to defend in time, Hayek was only flung into the wall. Now he has realized he made a mistake, because this game has a different controller. And Hayek started to seriously use his power, then swung his fist powerfully. Amuka has been doing that all this time just to probe, also determined in his head that Hayek depends on strength and attacks recklessly. Then he began to cast clone magic, telling Hayek that you won't be able to touch a strand of my hair. The people following the match also realized that this is Amuka's high-speed technique Thunder Break. Illusionary Shadow. Hayek was not surprised by this move of his, because he can also do this move and fight back his move. Right now Hayek has gathered strength, giving Amuka tit for tat. By the Thunder Fist, Explosion has beaten him badly. Because the phantom shadows have been dispersed, Hayek has recognized Amuka's Rhea body. He wants to celebrate learning Thunder Fist, so he is using another power. A comment said he is crazy because this is Crushing Mountain Strike. Hayek is rushing forward with terrible power, even more than Thunder Fist. Meanwhile Amuka can only stand there and take the blow. The online community watching was also amazed when he combined Thunder Fist and Crushing Mountain Strike to blast Amuka away. At the same time, in the Japanese Iron Fist arena, the champion is Tsuki in the cheers of fans. Female Masi went to congratulate him on winning. Then she asked about the skills in the match just now and the secrets that helped Tsuki achieve victory. As soon as he heard the secrets of victory, he thought of Hayek in his head, and recalled the match with him in Ultifight was very intense, when his attacks became useless. Constantly recalling the match, Tsuki has learned many things and won the championship in his hands. He looked up remembering what teacher Hayek taught. The way you use your two weapons is wrong. On the screen is the character Ninja Hattori who uses two weapons, which he applied the way Hayek taught to defeat the opponents. But he did not say such things, because of the conflicting feelings between the two countries. Instead of being Tsuki, the pride of Japanese fighting games, he would become a traitor. In the end, Tsuki had to answer. Thanks to the encouragement of the audience and the help of the thym, fans below were cheering happily when they heard him speak. However, the Messi also mentioned that there was a slot to participate in Evo on Twerk, and there was a category for streamers. Then she asked if Tsuki had heard the news that Shinjiro-san, the strongest of the next generation, was also present. He gaped when he heard about the streamer prize to Evo for Shinjiro's debut. While he was thinking hard about Hayek's appearance, he dropped the trophy. The more he thought about AT, the more he felt that he would ruin the Crown Prince's debut when the demon Lidu Hayek appeared, so preoccupied with speculation that Tsuki did not hear what the meek said. Lidu Hayek was in his place, listening to the news from the online community that Twerk would soon be holding a tournament. He had heard Anatole talk about the tournament and needed to keep AT a secret. Then he pretended not to know, saying AT was just a Tekken tournament and they were holding AT on Twerk. Everyone realized Hayek was hesitating and hiding something, because his acting was so bad. But someone asked about participating in the tournament, and he replied that he would participate. Hayek was determined to say that he would take back the title of the strongest from Kwabna. And everyone who heard AT looked forward to their confrontation. Then he connected to Tekken to quickly win first place. Demon King Hayek was present in the game, as fans waited for the confrontation with Kwabna. Meanwhile, in Johannesburg, Africa, someone was looking for Kwabna. When he found him, he was doing something and said to wait a bit. Then he held up his hand and said AT was done. The person who was complaining about an itchy ear was Kwabna, the world Tekken champion who held rank 1, and was considered a monster among monsters. He was surprised when the girl informed him that someone was mentioning him. She also said that if he felt itchy ears, AT was due to Korean superstitions and people were talking about him. Kwabna also sneered, saying he did not believe in superstitions. She reminded him about the promise to his grandmother when he lost to save the world, and to do just that. He remembered his grandmother, a respected witch, but both his parents and grandmother had albinism. Then he remembered the white tragedy, which shattered his family, while his grandmother and himself were lucky to escape. He was also grateful to Bianca's Bantu tribe for protecting his grandmother and himself, and the assistant standing there wondered what he wanted to say. Kwamna continued to recall the prophecy when his grandmother said he was the one who witnessed that final moment. At was the scene of his family falling apart, and the fate to turn him into a hero. And he told her that he had put a lot of faith in At to work hard while carrying the weight of his parents' death. When Kwamna's body and mind were ready, his grandmother spoke again. The prophecy was cancelled, to his surprise at that time. She added, "Be careful of the one who cuts through lightning." He still did not understand, considering how much he had suffered, because he was thinking about those meaningless words. The girl asked him what he was thinking about all the time. After thinking, he wanted to focus on work now, telling the employee that he wanted to meet the them, which made her not understand what was going on. Kwamna said, "Tekken will end after this tournament." He glared, clenched his fists with strong momentum, and affirmed, "Let them know about this, because Iron Fist, this tournament will be the last." The girl was surprised and asked back, "What? What do you mean?" Kwamna continued, "I joined Iron Fist only because I heard there were many strong people like me here. But rarely anyone can withstand one of my punches. I want to experience that day again, the feeling of fighting a truly strong person, making my whole body tremble." He announced his plan. "Those who say Iron Fist has many strong opponents are lying, so I plan to withdraw from Iron Fist. It seems that after this tournament ends, I have to find something to do." As soon as he finished speaking, a voice shouted in protest, "Why are you deciding so quickly?" But Kwamna said coldly, "Never mind. I will announce At before the tournament starts." On the other hand, Hayek consumes weapons. With a triumphant look, he eliminates the opponent. He sighs. "Woo. This guy is really strong." The system reports, "Is that all you have?" 1174. The Demon King wins. Whoa. This guy really climbed to the top. One main character Trevor. He did At by stealing Trevor's stick. At this rate, he may even touch the throne of God. Hayek was stunned when he heard that. The throne of God. Filled with discussions. At's only the second day and he has reached the throne of God. The throne of God is the highest rank that can be achieved in the AFI world. Hayek smiled with interest and said, "Then 80 probably won't be long." The audience continued, "Haha, because the number one position is not far away. The guys in the throne of God rank should be careful." Teacher do done. 56 win. 0 losses. Hayek spoke up when he heard the reminder. "We should go find victim number 57. Next opponent. Please come up," the robot announced. Searching for opponent. Match found. Your opponent is being summoned. Comments appeared. Who will be the next to join the list of victims? Haha. At this time, another person appeared. The system displayed. Sword God. Masamune. Kenshin. 1774. A doomed man holding a sword in his hand, with cold eyes, appeared with comments from netizens. "Oh, Godudut is still above true God. What a crazy account name." He glared and thought. "My name is Shinjiro. I am called the rising star of Japan in the fighting game world, the one who will surpass Suki-san. Someone as great as me received a warning from Suki-san." He remembered Suki's instructions. "And about Dudut-san, he is even better than a Nadali. Do not be careless." He thought. "I watched his livestream. In case At is necessary. There is no other way but to seriously take those warnings into account. He defeats everyone, regardless of anyone." Shinjiro held his sword and glared. "But that is not what scares me. I have to confirm At right before the tournament. I have to see with my own eyes that I am stronger than him. I need to verify his strength." He just thought to deal with Hayek in front of him. Shinjiro quickly grabbed his sword and planned to stab the person in front of him and said loudly, "The truly strong person is the one who can persevere to the end. I will prove At." The system displayed. Ready. At that moment, Hayek rushed up, swung his fist and smiled dangerously. "That is right. I want you to survive for a long time." Fight. Hayek rushed in with great enthusiasm like lightning and attacked. With a cunning expression, "If this match ends too quickly, I won't earn any undate." At that moment, Shinjiro used his sword to block Hayek's attack. Then he pushed his punch away, grabbed the sword and slipped behind him. Shinjiro took the opportunity to use his hand to knock Hayek's leg horizontally. Shinjiro used a technique to attack, causing him to lose balance and fall. Ingite. Mutadori, a technique to face a sword with bare hands. Shinjiro glanced in another direction, with an unpredictable expression. Then, he used his sword to slash back at Hayek, terrifying slash. The Mengite Kwang. Hayek was slashed by Shinjiro and fell to the ground. The audience began to discuss. God Dun was hit. Is this re? But suddenly, Hayek appeared behind him and glanced and said, "Do not worry. I've lied," making Shinjiro startled and panicked. Shinjiro seemed to realize that he had been tricked, and angrily cursed, "Damn did I just slash at his afterimage?" Hayek laughed, and said happily, "That is right." He used his hand to hit Shinjiro's wrist, causing the sword to fall from his hand. Hayek launched a counterattack, attacking Shinjiro, knocking him down. Hayek grabbed his hand and used the stance to knock him to the ground. He grabbed the sword and said calmly, "Mutadori counterattack." Shinjiro touched Hayek's hand, pushed AT away and escaped. He gained momentum and stood up in a defensive position. Frowning warily, "He is so proficient in Mutadori that he can steal my sword. Where did you learn that move?" He raised his hand and said with an excited expression, "Oh, that. He thought, "Rinchi, the sword sen of the 9 heroes in my previous life. My sword technique is just a faint copy of the sword technique she used." Even though she stood at the pinnacle of swordsmanship, she never called herself a sword god but chose to call herself a sword sen. Yet you dare to call me a child who dares to call himself a sword god. However, the horizontal slash, Mutadori and Fianguide are very familiar. They are exactly the same as the swordsmanship that the sword sen used to use. Shinjiro seemed impatient and annoyed. "I see the essence of my family's swordsmanship in your moves. So admit it. Who taught you that move?" But Hayek did not care and still thought, "There is one thing I need to verify." He just thought and took a stance with his sword and said, "If you want to know, survive this move." Shinjiro was shocked when he saw his posture. "What? Is not that the posture?" Hayek glared, with a murderous look, wanting to finish off his opponent, and quickly rushed forward with his sword. He unleashed his power and stabbed Shinjiro. Hayek struck Shinjiro with a powerful slash, Trumengite na Kwang. Shinjiro was blown away, and could not help but be shocked. "No way, my family's Yuya ultimate technique. Who on earth is he?" The system displayed, "Is that all you have?" Victory. The audience began to buzz again. What kind of move is that? Even though he is using the Demon King, he is still God Dun. Shinjiro frowned and shouted, "Who the hell are you?" Many discussions appeared. "A guy who stole your sword. God Dun just showed a swordsman what true swordsmanship is." Hayek smiled contentedly when he heard him ask. "I guessed right, because he recognized the slash of Trumengite na." Shinjiro was curious when he saw his calm appearance. "Who are you?" But Hayek asked him back calmly, "Before I say, do you have a sister?" His words made Shinjiro stun. Speechless. Ha ha. What? His sister. Ha ha. Those kinds of questions are the kinds that soldiers are asked if they are handsome. Dokong is the best donated 1001. Does he mean, if you are not satisfied, call your sister here to bully you? Is he saying that, haha, that is right, if you do not agree, call the adults, haha. Hayek laughed teasingly when he heard those words. No, I do not mean that. The comments displayed again. The time when you had qualities as V. Now is the era of, do you have a sister? Immediately after that, Hayek left. Shinjiro cursed. You bastard. Come here quickly. He replied, okay. But what about your sister? A moment later, Japan. Scene changes to a house in Japan. Sister. Where is your sister? In the room, there is a girl practicing swordsmanship. She practiced and concentrated on thinking. The principle is to step to the right to enter the stance. Imprison the moonlight in the blade. When the moonlight permeates each sword, use a slash to destroy the world. She used her strength and the principle to slash hard, causing the objects in front of her to fly up. Trumengite na Kwang. Suddenly she knelt down on the floor. The girl grabbed her arm, trembling in pain. My arm. What about the tatami mats? She looked at the tatami mats that she had slashed earlier and thought disappointedly. I only slashed 2 tatami mats into 3 to 4 parts. The last slash was not perfect. The first family head of the family once slashed through rocks and felled an entire forest with just 1 slash. Is that really possible? Suddenly there was a voice calling out outside the door. Sister, where are you? Shinjiro opened the door and rushed in anxiously. Sister, Shinjiro Chiba, descendant of Susoku Chiba. You were once considered the sword sen of this era. As soon as he stepped in, a sword pointed straight at his face, making him panic. His sister held her sword and coldly chided. I told you never to disturb me when I am practicing. Rin Chiba, whose swordsmanship surpasses even the eldest son of the Chiba family. Kazuma, who was once considered the strongest. Shinjiro quickly explained when he saw his sister angry. Sister, I need to ask you something. Have you taught the moonlight sword technique to outsiders? Rin frowned angrily and said, Are you insulting me? Want to cause trouble? Okay. Go get your protective gear and get on the mat with me. Shinjiro was sweating and panicked to clarify. Hey, that is not what I meant. He thought to himself, based on the reaction just now. It seems that she does not know that guy at all, so why is his swordsmanship exactly like hers? He even acted like he knew her. I have to clarify this, Shinjiro said to his sister. Sister. Follow me, she asked in confusion. Do you want to go outside to compete? He replied, No, I just need to show you something. Outside, the sky was gloomy. Bolts of lightning and eerie light surrounded Hayek. Woo, the ultimate technique from Dugit. Now I have seen everything. Please use a swordsman from the next round. The system reported, You have reached the throne of God. He sighed. Netizens commented, Haha, he has reached the throne of God. I do not know how far he will go. Hayek suddenly raised his hand to greet and said with a smile, Sorry, but that is all for today. Everyone was confused. There 80 goes again. Someone please start throwing money. Haha. Hayek felt a little sad when he heard that. He explained, Hey, I am not that kind of person, and I have things to do. But the announcement rang. I donated 9,215 won. Wait, 92,151 won. Can you perform your swordsmanship? And donated an additional 921,510 won. I will send more money if you do. Seeing the announcement, he immediately changed his attitude, jumped up happily. Oh my god! How did you guess the Ken 10 of the second stream? Everyone left comments. Look at him changing his attitude as soon as he sees the money. Haha, haha. He looked at the system and thought, I have reached the throne of God in Appy World, so I am qualified to participate in the tournament in a few days. If a T is my swordsmanship, can I play another game? The system displayed, as long as you use a sword, you can play any game. He smiled and said, Then I will play the game that I had planned for the second part of the stream. Change the game. The Viking legend is returned, the rise of Valhalla. Hayek in a wild form, riding a horse alone and proclaiming, I am back. The audience praised. Yeah. Let us go. AT's Valhalla. He held the knife in his hand and said with interest, AT's been a while since I played this game, but I brought a knife for the mission. Wait, is that a kitchen knife? Hayek replied, Yeah, I stole a knife from the kitchen last time. The message reported again. Huh. People told you to perform swordsmanship and you plan to cook, Hayek said humorously. AT's not like that. Suddenly, a sharp point flew by with a voice. There he is, a geepy repive of people in armor. Wearing hats, rode horses towards him and announced, The enemy of the Lord. Everyone discussed. Whoa. Is AT because you killed all the assassins last time? How annoying. Dealing with that many knights is tiring. The shield them also arrived. Another Gyapariv people covering their shields also rushed in aggressively, making Hayek a little confused. Then they started rushing in, for the glory of Wessex. Charge! They attacked him with large weapons, making it difficult for him to handle. They rushed at me like hunting dogs. Hayek gritted his teeth, using his knife to parry their weapons, but the audience seemed incredulous, wondering how a kitchen knife could inflict damage on a knight. Then, he kicked the knight in the face with a powerful blow. He then used the momentum to leap Uvai his head, causing the knight to fall to the ground. Hayek continued his attack, wielding his knife to slaughter his opponents. He used his strength and the weapon in his hand to cut them all down. Hayek, with his knife held high, charged towards the knights, shouting, For Valhalla. The others were not intimidated and responded, For the king. But Hayek used his knife to eliminate them one by one, leaving them in pieces. Praising comments flooded in. Whoa. With just a kitchen knife, the Tier 1 knight is so cool. There are some useless guys waiting in the back. I suddenly feel sorry for them. Even the piece are starting to get scared. Haha. Hayek looked at them menacingly and said, should I use this move to end things? Yeah, let us go. That sword technique. The others stubbornly said, shields up. Take position. Before they could prepare, Hayek used his crescent moon slash to finish them off, scattering the people and their severed shields everywhere. Praising comments. Their IT is the one-hit kill. I need new underwear. Haha. The system displayed. Legitimate heir of the kingdom. Quest complete. Hayek was surprised. What? Is not this quest completed after the true heir? Athord reclaims the star. Someone wondered. Really? But you have not even met Athord yet. The system announced again. The temple guard's destruction has caused the kingdom of Wessex to falter and no longer interfere in the power struggle within the kingdom of Mercia. From now on, terrifying rumors about the player will begin to spread throughout the kingdom of Wessex. People began to discuss. Serves them right. Haha. I only managed to kill a few knights last time. Oh. Right. You also took down a group of assassins. Just cut down anyone you see. Meanwhile, in a house in Japan, a noisy voice echoed. Sis, look, is not that our family's moonlit sword technique? Rin looked at the screen and said, no, that is not our family's swordsmanship. Shinjiro was incredulous. AT's different. Rin observed and thought, the moonlit sword technique takes speed as its core, but that person's swordsmanship focuses on destructive power, truly absolute dominance. AT still carries the essence of our family's swordsmanship. That is the realm of swordsmanship I have always longed to reach. Rin asked Shinjiro. Suchi, what game is this? He glanced at her, feigning ignorance. Really? You always ask me to play with you. But you always refuse just because you want to train. Why the sudden change? Rin clenched her fists, decisively saying, I think I have found a T. The path I must walk, my path of the sword. Next day, Hayek was walking down the street and vaguely asked the person next to him, are we really going the right way? But the girl shouted uncomfortably, yes. Do not ask any more. He said with a bit of helplessness. We have been walking for an hour while you are still holding that map. Li Jian replied in confusion. AT's the right place. But what about the editor I have to meet today? Hayek heard this and smiled, his eyes shining brightly. You said that person is younger than me. Right. Is she pretty? Jian replied dejectedly. What? AT's a guy. Hayek felt unhappy when he heard her say that. Tech. I knew AT was just wishful thinking. Then the two stopped in front of a shop. He pointed to the shop and said, 389 kef. Is not that the place? Jian paused and said to him, wait a minute. I have to call him first. They opened the door and entered. Greeting. Hey, we are here. A Dung man stood there and greeted them. Sis, I am here. Jian also happily waved and greeted. Hey, long time no see. Hayek was surprised to see him. Oh. You are. The Dung man was equally surprised to see him. You. Brother. Why are you here? Then Hayek pointed to Min and said to Jian, do not tell me. You are introducing me to this guy. Jian did not understand what was going on and asked him. You know Min. Suddenly, Min strode quickly towards him and said loudly, why did you leave like that day? He thought, I have not had a chance to thank him for saving me yet. He ran UV, excitedly grabbing both of his hands and said, ever since that day, I have been thinking about you. Hayek was terrified. Min thought. Finally, I can express my gratitude to him. Min, with a happy expression and slightly tearful eyes, said, I miss you. He thought to himself, brother. Your strength. AT's totally my type. Then he hugged Hayek tightly, causing him to shout in surprise. What? Jian saw this and exclaimed in horror. Oppa. Whoa. You too. Are you dating? Hayek quickly pushed Min away and angrily shouted. What the hell are you talking about? Min, who was pushed away, still said happily. Whoa. So strong. I am about to fall in love. Cut to that evening. At Iron First, Hayek stamped his foot down on the ground, surprising everyone. Why did you come earlier than usual today? He replied with a smile. Because I have something to announce today. They wondered. What is AT? You want to play without being disturbed today? He quickly explained. No. You know, everyone keeps asking to see videos of my previous matches. I have decided to create my own YouTube channel. From now on, I will upload all the videos there. Everyone started to discuss. I just watched a new VAEQ that was uploaded today. The VAEQ quality is crazy. What the heck? There are even videos that have not been released before. Awesome. You chose a good editor. Hayek smiled awkwardly and thought, looks like everything ended smoothly. That situation was so embarrassing. He remembered when he was at the caf. Min loudly expressed, even if you are rough, I still like you. Hayek quickly covered his mouth and said, wait, I respect your preferences, but I do not like men. But Min explained, no, I want to be your slave. He clenched his fist and thought, I resolved the misunderstanding and even hired him as a probationary editor. But I will keep an eye on you, you little devil. Hayek said. Anyway, since the EVO qualifying tournament is not far away, I will try to improve my ranking. Keem. Start matchmaking. Keem obeyed, initiating Iron First matchmaking. At the same time, on the Japanese Iron First server, Shinjiro was attacked fiercely, causing him to stagger. He backed away, trying to steady himself. He cursed, damn what kind of sword is that? Then he shouted, Sis, are you sure you have never played Iron First before? I do not care how good your swordmanship is in real life, but you have defended and countered all my moves. How can that be possible? You are not even using adjustments. Shinjiro continued to shout in amazement. You blocked my lightning flash and even countered. How is that possible? You did AT without any adjustments. Shin froze when she heard him say, adjustments. Shin smiled helplessly and bitterly. Damn because I have never been able to beat her in real life. I thought I could at least beat her once in the game and then tell her about this feature. Then he quickly said to her with a smile, in EFI there is a system called the game adjustment system. If you apply that adjustment to your swordsmanship then. Rin pointed at him and asked, so you also used adjustments to create the lightning flash? Shin hesitated and replied, if you have to say AT, then yes. Then, she used her sword to perform a few dances to practice her strength. Adjustments. Her sword strokes created power with light surrounding the area. Shin thought, even with adjustments IT would not be easy. He even smiled triumphantly and was about to say something, but his head was reflected by the light and lightning from Rin's moves. That destructive power was strong and shook even the buildings nearby. That made Shin widen his eyes in horror. What the hell? I spent a month painstakingly hunting that move, but she just looked at Atai once and copied Atai. Tsuki said something about this kind of genius. What is Atai called in Korean? He tried to think. Right, I remember now. That name. Atai's really crazy. Cut to another location. Hayek was standing watching the system screen. The host announced, time flies so fast, and now Atai's time for the Iron Fist tournament hosted by Twerk. After countless fierce qualifiers, now only the finals remain. The viewers expressed their excitement. Twerk's qualifiers are more intense than imagined. And now we have a special guest who was specially passed through the qualifiers. Teacher Du Hayek, without losing any matches, reached the celestial rank in no time. Only second to Godslayer. In the blink of an eye, Hayek smiled awkwardly and sighed. Oh my god. So embarrassing. Forget about that. Let us look at the main bracket first. And on the screen, the host happily announced, before announcing the matchups that everyone is most looking forward to. She announced, the Emperor of Japanese Fighting Games. Please welcome Suki to the stage. Suki walked onto the stage and shared. Hello everyone. Today, I am not appearing as a player, but as a commentator. The female Misi continued to ask it. Suki-san, who do you think will win this tournament? There have been many rumors recently about a Korean player named Du Hayek. Hearing that question, Suki laughed heartily and said, but I still think Shinjiro will. Suddenly a thought flashed. No way. The winner will be the monster Du Hayek. The MC was a little surprised and asked him, oh, why is that? Do you have someone else in mind? Suki pretended to be embarrassed and said, Not really. It's just that if I mention him, he might feel pressured. So I would rather not say. The big screen showed many images of potential players. Then he pointed to the big screen and announced, "Well then, let us start the round of 16 draw. The first match of the round of 16. The image showed Shinjiro versus the female swordsman. The screen continued to show the image of the female swordsman who will face Shinjiro. The second match of the round of 16. The image of Du Hyuk appeared. Lee Du Hyuk versus Zhou Long. His opponent was Zhou Long with a tall and imposing figure. Many viewers were curious. Is teacher Du Hyuk sending hearts to the audience? No way. This person clearly has not watched the stream. That is his pay-up pose. Hyuk coughed and said with a smile. Anyway, the female swordsman will face Shinjiro. The system announced, Lee Du Hyuk, please log in to start the match. Hyuk excitedly said, got the in-game notification. Looks like it's time to start. The system reported, Lee Du Hyuk, round of 16 match 2 work rivals. Connecting. Level. Heavenly Realm. Opponent. Kujo. Is that so? 1.774. Hyuk wore his battle suit, appearing in a ready-to-fight stance. You have entered the Chinese Achu Temple map. Zhou Long. Round of 16 match 2 work rivals. Connecting. The man in the powerful armor, with a stern expression and leisurely holding a cup of tea appeared. Heavenly Realm. Guan Yu. Zhou Long. He glared and said, I thought I would face the Dong Sword King. Shinjiro. But my opponent is just a streamer from some small country. He put the teacup on the table and calmly said, I will finish this match before the tea gets cold. Then left immediately. After that he held the scepter in his hand and his eyes became fierce. He stood up and reached forward. Go get him. Eastern Kid. The system displayed. Is that so? 1.174. Win. Not long after that, Hyuk casually walked UV to pick up the teacup and said uncomfortably, He's too hot. Why is this tea so hot? Zhou Long was lying sprawled on the floor. The audience was amused. He only brought your head back. Anyway, at least he kept his word. Back before the tea got cold indeed. The system reported again. We will continue with the next match shortly. Hyuk was stunned and wondered. I wonder how the female swordsman is doing. On the other side, the system reported. The female swordsman wins. The spirited female swordsman used her weapon to defeat Shinjiro with one hand to the admiration of the public. She just defeated Shinjiro. Since when has our female swordsman become so strong? Worthy of being the first disciple to be wholeheartedly taught by teacher Du Hyuk. The victorious female swordsman raised her sword and angrily said, Who is the first disciple? One day I will surpass him. She frowned and said with a determined face, The final battle of this tournament will be me against Du Hyuk. And I will defeat him to prove that I am the strongest in the world. But the audience still teased. Female swordsman. Can you please stop role-playing the martial arts character? She angrily shouted. Shut up. The system reported the command. Please restore the arena and summon the next opponent. The next opponent is Masamune. Lin. 16 wins. 0 losses. Lin began to appear and the audience was surprised again. 16. 0. A newbie. How did a newbie get here? And she is so cute. From today on I am her fan. Hearing that, the female swordsman blushed and laughed. How can you say that in front of me? The #1 beauty in the world. The public teased her again. It seems the female swordsman is finally moved. I told her to restrain her temper. Hearing that, the female swordsman angrily scolded. Shut up. I will block you both right now, causing Lin to shut up helplessly. Then she opened her mouth and said helplessly. The match. The reminder made the female swordsman who was arguing with the audience stunned. But she quickly regained her confidence and said, Sorry, some enthusiastic fans are teasing me. The system displayed. Ready. Lin calmly and serenely said, He's okay. Fight. Then the female swordsman held her sword and rushed forward like the wind with overwhelming momentum. Okay, let us fight. Lin still stood there calmly and observed the opponent rushing towards her. 1 second later, she immediately grabbed her sword and blocked the opponent's attack with cold, calm eyes. The two swords collided powerfully and created a strong friction. The female swordsman seemed to realize something. Then she waved her hand to knock Lin's sword away and said, Sword flow is not something only you know how to use. Then she swept her sword across the opponent's head to knock Lin down. But the sword was plunged straight into the ground. Lin used her sword to plunge into the ground to maintain momentum and take force to kick the female swordsman, causing her to try to use force in her legs to stabilize herself. The female swordsman stepped back and exclaimed, "Not bad. Now, try to block this move." She used her power to summon strength. Wolf Fang Strike. Tear them apart. She rushed forward with her power surrounding Lin. Lin was not afraid, but took the sword and thought, that sword Kai Storm will be subdued by a ray of moonlight. Then she used her power, moonlight swordsmanship, then rushed forward as straight as an arrow and finished off the opponent. At this time the system reported, Lin wins. She proudly held her sword standing firm on the ground. Lin looked at the sword and thought, even though I used adjustments in the game, the current solar moonlight strike is my limit. I can push AT up to double moonlight, even triple moonlight. But, Duhayek, I am still far from the moonlight strike you once used. Duhaiksen, you will make AT to the final match. Right? If so, then so will I. The system displayed. Is that so? 1.174. Win. The program system reported. Defeating the favorite. The calm before the storm. Welcome player Du Hayek. He sighed in relief after eliminating his opponent, and the audience also enjoyed that comment. With that victory, Du Hayek has surpassed Zhou Long in the round of 16. Zhou Long still calmly said, "The tea is still warm." Next is the quarterfinals with Rocky from Tibet. Rocky jokingly said, "Climbing mountains. You have to call me Rocky." He knocked the calm before the storm from Jeju Island in the blink of an eye. The other person indifferently said, standing alone in the windy Jeju. For the first time, he has entered the final match. And now, who will face him in the final match? The results of the second quarter-final will be announced soon. Who will become the champion of Twerk Rivals and win the ticket to the prestigious EVO tournament? The female Missy enthusiastically announced, as soon as she finished speaking. The opponent in the final match was determined. The next person to enter the final match is Lin. 19 wins. 0 losses. Masamune wins. 8 is Lin. The pride of our Japan. The audience was surprised. Shinjiro was eliminated. Who is she? A completely unknown rookie has surpassed even Shiver. Seeing that, Hayek was stunned. Huh. She is? Lin seriously said, I have wanted to meet you for a long time. Duhaik-san, I am Shinjiro's older sister. Kaiba Rin. He frowned and thought to himself. As expected, I guessed right. Kaiba Rin. One of the future 9 heroes. The Monster Slayer. Definitely the Sword Sen. Kaiba Rin.